Alrighty, good morning. Live, 6 o'clock in the AM on a Friday. We're into September. We're into spring. Simpiwe is filled with the joys of spring. I see lots of floral shit going on here. It's very good. Very good. I love it. All right, so I hope your day's off to a good start. If it isn't yet, we'll try to make it so. Have a lot of cool stuff happening this morning. We're going to have Ben come in a little later on with the sport. We've got Brendon Matthews coming in, one of the doctors, a new show that we'll be launching on Monday. Yep, it's about time we got some good medical advice on this show.
Yes.
And the show we'll tell you about, it started off as kind of like a men's health clinic type thing, but it's turned into a all-round, everybody bring us your problems, the doctors will try to solve them type of situation. And who doesn't have medical problems? So just be honest with them. They'll help treat you. So that's the whole idea. And we'll be doing that. There are also some other new shows that are coming to the Real Network soon. So stick around for those. We've got so much to do today. I want to get straight into it. First of all, any big plans for the weekend, Sims?
No, I don't think so.
What's different? Usually you do. No?
Yeah, it's one of those where it's quiet for now. I'll probably have plans later today. Like that's how my life goes sometimes.
Sure. Already?
Yeah.
Wow. Stuff's happening. Well, Carl says, oh, wow, we can hear you. You really September the 11th. Yeah, the producers are now referring to it as the day we do not speak of. On the show, because Wednesday technically was just such a disaster, so we decided to call it. Yeah. That was a mess. I think Gareth deserves a small accolade. It's not been an easy week show-wise. Luckily, the comment section is here to rescue, but Gareth did play his part. We appreciate you. Well, you guys, I mean, like, without the comment section, there isn't really a show. I'm slowly handing over to the comment section. Probably somewhere in the next 3 to 6 months, I won't even have to do the show. We'll just switch on the comments and that'll be everything.
They'll be like, let's go.
That's all anybody will need.
Gareth?
Okay. So lots to talk about this week. I mentioned on Wednesday's show when we started it, even though we didn't end up finishing it, that there's this brilliant woman who does these Kamala Harris impersonations.
Ooh.
Have you seen her?
Okay, I can't do it.
Almost. You had the right tone. We did it, Joe. Yeah, we did it, Joe. It's like you've almost got to. It's like the weirdest inflection. It sort of sounds like she's whining, even though she's trying not to sound like she's whining.
She's trying to be cool.
But I'll tell you one thing, because I did watch the debate, which is now old news, but I mean, we didn't get a chance to talk about it on Wednesday. She does take good direction. Like they've told her, don't cackle. You know how she's always laughing at everything? Like everything's a big joke?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, people in America are like struggling with inflation. They can't afford their properties. They can't buy food. Haitian immigrants are eating their pets, according to Donald Trump. I mean, this is what they're saying, right? And we'll get into the whole fake news thing a little later on. But Kamala Harris, she stopped laughing. She actually took direction. She didn't laugh. You could see she was like holding it in, but at least she can take direction. At very least. So have you got that impersonator for me? Take a look at this.
Where are you guys? It's 6 hours before the debate. Hair and makeup is still not here. And this is unacceptable. When this is over, you're all fired. Bring the neck mask. Have you been able to reach Waltz? I haven't been able to track him down since the beginning of the passage of time. Look, when he calls you, tell him to call me. Immediately. Tim, where the fuck are you? What are you always doing at the stables?
We're just missing the
I need you to be here. We need to practice. This is serious, all right? We can only cheat so much. It has to be believable.
I love it. I think she's amazing. And she's got that voice down. Oh, Tim, where are you? That sort of sound. She also held back on the laughing, so I'm very impressed with that. So there is a lot going on at the moment. Shame, I heard this morning, and I say shame. I mean, we're always sad when we hear news about, like, someone who has been important in South Africa who died, Pravin Gordhan. I can't say I'm sad, but condolences to the family, I suppose. Apparently he was ailing towards the end. Well, I mean, what can I say? He was a minister. What did he do for us? Let's think about it. First, he was at SARS,
Yes.
and we all love SARS, don't we?
Oh, they
So-
so great.
Of course, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know what kind of planet you'd be living on where people would go, oh, I'm so sad to hear about the ex-SARS commissioner, having a rough time or dying. There's no planet like that. The other thing is, he was Minister of Public Enterprises for a long time.
Yeah, boy.
When last did you fly SAA?
Ooh.
Just saying.
Ooh.
State capture, he blamed everybody else. It was always everyone else's fault. It wasn't him. But that guy was there for some absolutely destructive, terrible things that happened. And obviously, you give your condolences. It's sad for his family. But for the rest of us in South Africa, it's like a sigh of relief. I'm going to say it even if you aren't. You don't have to say anything.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll say it. I just, what I really hate is like people who say nice things after some
Oh.
horrible, like terrible person who's done nothing good in their lives goes, and then all the people go, oh, well, we've got to say nice things. Like at the funeral
Oh, yes.
where the opposite of the Rakhadis who get up there. Yeah. And they get up and they go, oh, she was such a sweetheart. She always did everything for the poor, and she always helped other, other old ladies across the street. And she was a real lovely person to her grandchildren and all that shit. Meanwhile, this old woman was like horrible. She'd kick cats and she'd swear at the homeless, and but when she's dead, no, we must be nice about her. So there we go. The latest news. I did see this from Duduzile Zuma earlier in the week. I think
What
she
does
kind of
have to say.
So have you got that tweet that she put up? Duduzile, this is it's kind of how I felt. I was like, she said, we pray for his speedy recovery. Obviously that didn't happen because Dudu Zuma's prayers are not very good. But we pray for his speedy recovery as he still has a lot to answer for.
Yeah.
That was what she said. All right.
Probably she's like, damn it.
Yeah, I know.
We don't get
I
that
don't know.
nonsense now.
I can't do the whole holier than thou when someone dies. Just say nice things. I can't do it. The other big story this week, and we'll talk to Brendon. I know Suhail, one of the other doctors on our show, is going to be addressing this in their show. Their first show starts next week. But there was this big furore about Tom London,
Yes, I saw that.
who went to Helen Joseph Hospital. And I mean, to be perfectly frank, I didn't pay that much attention to it. But this guy was in Helen Joseph Hospital. He said it was an absolute shit show.
Yeah.
Terrible nurses. That's him. That's Tom London.
Yeah.
But when I saw the picture, and it happened to be on the same day as Clint Eastwood's 93rd birthday,
Oh, my word.
show them the picture of Clint Eastwood's 93rd birthday and then go back to Tom London. See that? That look like Tom London? That's Clint Eastwood, 94th. Sorry. There's Tom London, who's not 94. Okay, he's in hospital, so he's been having a rough time too.
Pass off as brothers.
Yeah, and there's 94-year-old Clint Eastwood, who frankly looks a bit younger than Tom London. So Helen Joseph Hospital must be awful. If that's what he looks like.
Yo.
Yeah, how's that, huh? And happy birthday, Clint. 94, Clint Eastwood.
Hectic.
Yeah, I could cycle through these photos the whole time. I can't tell the difference. I'm struggling. I'm struggling
They
to.
look like guys from Brakpan. Like this ordinary folks,
Yeah, sure. I don't know what's happened there. One of them is aged very well. The other one's aged very badly. We won't say who's who.
Sure.
Can I also just bring up that there have been a lot of celebrities at the US Open? Of course, this was the week, since we mentioned Kamala earlier. This is the week that, surprise, 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 Kamala Harris was endorsed by Taylor Swift. Did you expect Taylor Swift to say anything else? Was there anyone on planet Earth who was going, I'm pretty sure she's going to endorse Donald Trump? Anyone?
So, just seeing some of the celebrities that have already endorsed Harris.
Yeah, everyone. All the
everyone.
celebrities.
Like,
The only celebrities Donald Trump's got at this point is like 2 or 3 country singers and one or 2 washed up sitcom stars from the 80s.
I'm just not surprised at this point. I'm
Yeah.
just like, because I was more surprised at the fact that she had Megan Thee Stallion performing at one of her rallies,
Mhm.
and Megan Thee Stallion's like this hip hop artist who promotes twerking,
Yeah.
and then she is like hot girl shit, like twerking, and then it was just like serious and like, okay, we at a Harris.
I know who I know
yeah.
who should have got an endorsement, or who should have given their endorsement, is you We put Simpiwe in the studio. She's going to be so embarrassed by this. It's good, though. I mean, like, we wouldn't show it if it was terrible and embarrassing. Well, maybe a little. Here's Simpiwe's rap debut, just in case, in case there's a US president or a candidate for an election somewhere who's looking for somebody to endorse them. This is your person. We'll show you the video. You were just messing around. Did you know they were recording?
I did not know. So we had recorded a show, guys. And then I was like, I could do that. And then I literally was like, this is my song. And I was just like,
No, we are recording we're recording a couple of music shows that are going to come to the Real Network soon. So stick around for that. And we may just have to give Simpiwe one, just judging by her performance.
And I did not realize the guys were recording. Now I know that when you are in studio,
anytime you walk in here, there's going to be a camera on you.
There's a camera and the mics are on. And yeah, now I live to regret it, I guess, because I just thought it was a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Well, oh, you can't play audio. Oh, shit. Cardi B will. Well, just show the video. Just show, like, Simpiwe looks like a natural in front of this microphone. Look at her. Look at her. She's going crazy. Look at you. It's a microphone hanging there in front of her. She's giving it her all. Look at this. And this is just like a dress rehearsal, by the way. It's time for you to get your own show. And you were singing Cardi B?
I was like...
You're rapping.
Yeah, I was like... Got a bag and fix my teeth. Hope your hoes no way they cheap.
There we go.
Pay my mama's bills.
There we go. Me. Beautiful. I love it. So we have real talent in the building today.
Yeah.
All right. There wouldn't be a show without us having to insult and demean Gen Z. And today is not going to be any different. Simpiwe has a story for us about a Gen Z worker who says jobs should only go from 9 until 1 each day. I don't know that there's ever been a generation in human history that hates work as much as Gen Z, or that thinks it's a punishment. Like, what is your life if you're not working? And I don't mean that has to be everything. Mm-hmm. All of us, I should hope, have some purpose and meaning in our lives, right? Life is not a big punishment, and the major part of that punishment is work. If that's how you feel, obviously life's going to be horrific. And it doesn't matter how many holidays or how much money you have or all the stuff that people supposedly work for so they can have those, 1 or 2 holidays a year.
Yeah.
Like, part of the fun is work. We just saw you at work rapping your ass off. There's a way to make every job fun.
Yes.
I mean, there are doctors who are currently taking disgusting organs out of people.
Yes.
That have diseases and things growing out of them that shouldn't be there. But even doctors enjoy their work. Mm-hmm. So what is wrong with Gen Z? What is wrong with Gen Z? Why are you people so fucking lazy? Huh?
They're so soft.
So soft.
But this particular Gen Z is, I don't know. I don't know if I agree. I don't know if I'm coming or going with this. So their whole notion is none works after 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right? They usually stretch out their work until 5. And they'll make sure that like the 8-hour work schedule is stretched out. Mm-hmm. So if you squeeze it all in, people would be more focused and they'd get all the important things done much more faster. To some extent, I'm like, I hear your logic. I see where you're coming from. But the reality is there's other jobs that can't. I mean, imagine your doctor just leaving you like, oh, it's 1 o'clock. Wow. I'm done. It's after lunch. Gotta go. Can't attend to you.
And it seems to be like a bit of a theme this morning, but doctors are a good example, right? There are doctors all over South Africa who are working like sometimes more than 12, 18-hour shifts. And I wouldn't want to be the patient at their 17th hour when they're like starting to fall asleep with that scalpel in their hand.
Imagine.
That's not great, but they work.
Yes.
And you work so that you can have, you're like, what's wrong with describing yourself when someone asks you who you are by also describing what you do? I mean, like, that surely is something you're proud of.
Yes.
Unless you're really shit at it.
Yeah.
Or you're a politician and you're just generally embarrassed about what you do.
So I think this is like my philosophy when it comes to work. Bad decisions are made after 1 o'clock on a Friday afternoon.
Oh yeah.
So like I can live with that. Like no meeting should be held
No, I
after
agree.
1 o'clock on a Friday. Like what are we doing? We're not gonna make any right decisions. Other than that, like let's keep it going and flowing. Like if you can finish your work at 2 o'clock, great. But some people need until 5.
Well, there are these companies with these rules, and this is also where like work doesn't have to be the worst thing, and
Yes.
sometimes people make it worse. Like there are companies that insist that people stick around until 5 o'clock on a Friday, and I'm like, they're sharpening a pencil or going for their 18th coffee of the day, or like literally going to read their text messages in the bathroom, because they're not interested. So why don't you just let them leave early and rather say to them, you can make up that time by working late on a Thursday or on a Tuesday? Why don't you come in extra early or whatever else? Let people work around that a little bit.
Yes.
Right?
So,
if you can. I mean, there's some jobs where you can't.
Thank you. But that's all I'm saying is that we don't need to change the whole like company structure just to accommodate Gen
So you
Zs.
kind of agree with this Gen Z person.
I see where they're coming from. Like I'm like my Fridays, yes, I want to leave early.
Yeah.
So definitely after 1 o'clock, I'm not trying to be at work. But in J&J, I'm just like, guys, work needs to be done. Because they're also the same ones that want to get paid like 50 million for an entry job. Like they're also the same people.
Oh yeah. No,
like,
they want to be the CEO. Yeah.
Like after 1 year of work experience. So it's just like, guys, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
No.
This is the balance. Like you can get one day where you get to leave early, and then the rest of the 4 days you work hard, or you know what I mean? That's a good balance in my humble opinion.
Raven says work should be measured by your outputs, not the hours you work. And the more experience you have, the easier it will be for some. I completely agree with that. Some very smart comments, actually. Unexpectedly. Mapello says, I now have an 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock job and time flies, man. 8 to 1, I wouldn't be able to finish my work. See, that's also true. Like some people can't get stuff done because it is like processes and, administration and all that kind of shit. So this doesn't apply to everybody. And I don't know your job. Simply doesn't know your job. If you can't get away before 4 or 5 in the afternoon, then I suppose you have to do it. And thank God you are. Especially if it's, something important that the rest of us rely on, but we don't know we rely on. Congo Chris says the first 3 hours on a Monday and the last 3 hours on a Friday, those we can do without. First 3 hours on a Monday, people are acclimatizing, hey? Doesn't matter how much rest they got over the weekend. They walk in like this. Monday.
They just realize all the problems that they actually have. Like, I need to deal with Susan. I need to send
that
this.
fucking Susan.
And then they're like, fucking hell. I need to play nice and be like really, really proper. Because they've probably also been talking shit about their colleagues during the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So they're like, oh, can't say that. Oh, I have to hold
I bumped into somebody this Monday in the lift here. And as they got in the lift, they were like, it's Monday morning, right? 9 o'clock. We've already done a show. My day's moving. This guy gets into the lift. So I'm like, hey, how you doing? He goes, I'm tired. I was like, what? Yeah, I'm so tired. I said, but it's Monday at 9 o'clock. He's like, I need another Sunday after my Sunday. I'm like, yeah, okay. Our director stands at the gate from 2 p.m. until 4 to ensure nobody leaves early. That's Lito. Lito, who do you work for? Adolf Hitler? What a job. Oh, by the way, one of the ways people waste time at the office, just have you got that video of that irritating person online who says that you should use the bathroom at work as much as you can?
Oh, my word.
This is exactly the opposite, by the way, of my philosophy. It's like you should never do any of that stuff unless it's absolutely necessary. I mean, peeing, sure, you have to pee a couple of times a day. Nothing else. It's completely unnecessary, right? You shouldn't do any of that except in your own house. Keep your life tidy.
Yes.
Right?
So what does this prison say?
Listen to this idiot. Just watch this.
Queensland Health are letting you know it is okay to poo at work and are trying to raise awareness around the dangers of holding it in. People can go to extreme lengths not to poo at work. There's even whole guides dedicated to how to do it, and it can be really anxiety inducing. So if this is you, here is your ultimate guide to pooing at work. If you get shy, remember that timing is everything. So try and pick your moment to go into the bathroom when there's no one else in there so you can hopefully poo in peace. If there are co-workers in the bathroom, just wait it out until you're alone. alone, but please do not make small talk with somebody in the store next to you, because they might also be trying to poo and are feeling anxious about it, and you're making it worse for them. So if you're waiting, just zip it. Do not forget that a flush is your friend. It's good to hide a little sound, good to get rid of a little smell, and putting down toilet paper can also help muffle sound, so do not sleep on that. If you have a particularly busy work bathroom, or maybe there's just not that many toilets, do a recce to another floor or find another toilet nearby so you don't have to worry about running into your colleagues. It'll just be strangers, hopefully. If you are still finding it hard to get over your poo at work anxiety, which I get, just remember that everyone does it. Everyone.
All right. Well, I don't know what to make of that other than, like, did you see the background of the rainbows and unicorns? And this is what she wants the world to know. This is what she wants the world to think about when they think about her. Is like she is the expert on pooing at work. It's very important.
She gave us a very detailed breakdown on how to poo at work, like walk in,
do a recce.
Like, ma'am, no.
Flushing is good. Like, what were you raised by animals that you don't know that flushing is good? Unbelievable.
I don't agree. I don't know. Like, we need to
Ben, sit down.
ban
Yes,
that
Ben.
kind of like content.
You had to walk in during a conversation about pooing at work.
Why is it that often I walk in here, you guys are talking about shitting? Nice to see James has prepared the microphones.
As always. Yeah, as always. All right. So the reason I decided that this was necessary is because people will do anything to waste time at work, especially if they hate their jobs. They'll make too many coffees. They'll go outside. They'll sit in their car. I see people sometimes in like these office parks, and you park your car to go for an appointment, and there's someone sitting in the car next to you, but it's 10 a.m. and they're sitting in there having a conversation on their phone, and they probably work, or they're meant to be working in that building.
I'd take that over the pooing. I'd take that. Like, go to your car.
Sorry, guys, I obviously missed the first few minutes here. Are they actually pooing or they're pretending to poo?
No, they're really pooing.
Like they're
So
encouraging
are they now making themselves through bad diets?
So some people will use the bathroom as a place to scroll through their phones, to not be among their colleagues, especially if they hate them.
Yeah.
It's amazing the lengths people will go to not.
That's what Simpiwe does every Thursday when I'm here. She just goes missing for like hours.
No, Simpiwe walked in. Let me be fair.
Don't lie.
Simpiwe walked in yesterday, and she like says hi to a couple of people. She says, "How's it, Ben?" across the table.
Yeah, I get profiled quickly, hey? How's it?
How's it, Ben?
How's it?
It was very good. How's it, Ben? How's it going?
Yeah, good, guys. Very good week this week.
Yeah.
Going super well. And tomorrow, go to Bulgaria, which is
very exciting.
Massively exciting.
What do we know about Bulgaria?
Not enough. Wait, I know enough that I know I'm going there just to go have a lot of fun in a place that does look a little bit backward with pockets of nice.
So former communist country, Eastern Europe. Ben found something that disturbed me a little bit in an article that I sent him about Bulgaria. He highlighted it and sent it back to me. It's like, you mustn't pretend to be too happy or actually be too happy. They don't like very happy people. They think it's suspicious.
Yeah.
That you know something that they should know.
Well, suspicious and arrogant.
Yeah.
So, and these are things, and disrespectful to the actual person who's having a shit day.
Correct.
And you must always respect their shit days because that's actually how you're meant to be.
Who hurt you? Like, what happened?
Well,
like,
that's
what we're going to find out.
We're going to find out. We're going to come back with a full report on Bulgaria. And so we'll be doing the show live on Monday morning from Sofia in Bulgaria.
Oh, nice.
And then on Wednesday as well. Friday, you're going to handle things because I'm going to be on a plane. So next Friday, Simpiwe's show.
You know, this is like the Springboks, huh? We just got such a big squad. We put people in the big games.
We can afford to.
No problems if people do it. I mean, my show next week has been done without me completely.
In fact,
off the reins.
So we even have someone here who we're thinking of replacing Ben with, or replacing Ben eventually. It's a mutual friend of Ben and mine.
How the fuck? The conversation just jumped to that.
No, we got to have a plan. So we were thinking about like, what can we do if Ben suddenly
gets stuck in Bulgaria,
or you end up in Helen Joseph Hospital, or you endorse the wrong U.S. presidential candidate.
You know what, guys? The more you talk, the more I'm actually behind this now. I get it. Life's treacherous.
There has to be a backup for everyone.
Yes.
Simpiwe is the backup if something terrible happens to me, right?
Yeah.
So you got to find one for you.
Bit of a like-for-like replacement there, isn't it?
I don't see any difference. What are you talking about?
What do you mean? I can also be grumpy.
How's it?
How's it been? All right.
I can also be grumpy. That's the first thing
Okay,
you
but
go
no,
to.
seriously. Ben and I have got a friend called Dylan. He's a lawyer in Pretoria, but that's not. I mean, lawyer in Pretoria. That could be any one of 100,000 people. Yeah, just move up a little here.
So just move up.
And he actually decided he wanted to come and spend the morning just seeing what we do to prove that we don't just, talk nonsense for a living, which actually is what we do.
Oh, yeah.
And we said, no, come in and be a part of the show. So
Since
welcome,
I've
Bill.
You've just been speaking nonsense, eh?
Well, that's exactly right. So we've proven nothing.
It generally gets better when I get here. This is what I found.
Oh,
Yeah.
listen to you,
All right.
Ben.
Look,
I'm trying to show how irreplaceable I am,
cherry
Superior.
on top.
all right, so we're going to do the sport, and we'll see how quickly Dill catches up and whether or not he has things to say about any of the sport too. I mean, we were all meant to go and watch the rugby once. You were the only one who ended up there, Ben.
No, it was only going to be me. The two of you were always going to flake, you in particular. See, again, I found your replacement. My mate Darby in Silver Lakes, he's your replacement.
Darby.
Again, not so much a like for like, but you know what? He steps up. When it comes to game day, he steps up and he knows how to drink a brandy and coke.
All right, what do we got in the sport?
So it's not the biggest sporting weekend because obviously there's no rugby championships. There is Curry Cup though. So the Curry Cup's been happening, I wouldn't say in the shadows, that's a bit disparaging, but the Curry Cup, of course, is our second sort of tier where these oaks are.
Yeah.
Western Province, my team have been dog shit.
Yeah.
Griquas were even better than them. Then the Pumas not so great. So those kind of teams fell away along with the Griffins who never had a chance. So this weekend we've got the favorites, the best of the best, and that will obviously be the Lions. They're taking on the Cheetahs. So that'll be Saturday at 2:30. And then we've got the Blue Bulls versus the Natal Sharks. Now the Sharks actually beat the Bulls last week.
Didn't you almost end up playing for the Bulls?
I'd like to claim so, but not. I wasn't
No, but I mean, you
particularly
were like-
close. I was in
you're-
and around the cusps, but
Okay.
yeah,
Don't be
Tuks
all
Academy
humble. I
and that
mean,
sort of
like,
thing. No, look,
Ben
there's a-
claims to be a pro golfer.
Identify as
Well-
one big difference.
Because he's won a couple of
There
amateur
we go.
championships.
Well, I was of the impression he was a professional golfer.
See,
eh?
identify
exactly.
well.
Oh, well, not good enough.
So it's always going to be. We said it for a while now. It's going to be a Bulls Lions final, but the Sharks they've got so many good players. And last week at the Shark Tank, they actually won. But now at Loftus, we all know it's a bit more difficult to win there, and it's going to be a big day in Pretoria. So obviously, Gareth, we can't go to that,
No.
which is a massive disappointment.
Yeah, you can tell how sad I am. Huh?
Well, yeah. So, look, the Lions are going to give the Cheetahs, I think, about 12 to 15 points. And I think the Bulls will sneak it against the Sharks because the Sharks, now that Sir Khaleesi's back, they might be more excited about being themselves again.
Right.
So that's your Curry Cup for the weekend. Premier League, also not the biggest games. We've got the big London derby, the North London derby, which is very exciting. So my
but,
team,
but hang on, before you move on, JP says, what the hell happened to the Lions? How did we become so good? Can they give Ten Hag the secrets?
well,
mixing
see,
up.
the Lions became good under Johan Ackermann, and then they made 2 Super Rugby finals.
Okay.
Then they lost a few players. They went to shit again. And then this is kind of them on the up. But becoming so good in Curry Cup is kind of like me saying, I'm going to make the best sports points on the show today. Not a huge amount. Like, it's not something that I'm going to brag the rest of the world about because I'm expected to do so. The Lions have got maybe 2 or 3 Oaks that go into Bok duty. They've had a good run with the squad because when you've got players all over the place like the Sharks or Western Province or the Bulls, it's quite hard to have momentum.
Yeah.
Whereas with the Lions, they've got more controlled squads.
Okay.
So they've always been good at that. And then that's what the Lions do. They have this steady growth. They're really good. And then they just sort of fall because good players then fuck off.
Well, I mean, they also retain most of their players when the rest of the teams go off to play international rugby.
That's it.
That's
it.
And yeah, it's unfortunate. That's exactly why they went up and down, is because they had such a phenomenal squad. Most of them got poached by the overseas guys, and now they're back on the upward trend. So
in order to give Ten Hag the secrets, no. Man United, okay.
Shame. We won't talk about them. They've been in for Really rough time, especially on your show, your sports show on the bounce.
Man United.
You guys, you
Are
guys
they
have,
not used to losing at this
Shame.
point?
Man
Yeah.
United do not deserve Sandile Shangasi. They do not deserve him. He's just so dedicated.
he's such a loyal guy.
Rocks up.
Huh?
Him and Chiefs. They just don't deserve him. So this weekend's big highlight in the Premier League is going to be the North London derby. So that's my team, Arsenal,
Okay.
giving Spurs
Right.
6 of the best trousers down.
Right.
Now, why I know this is going to happen because
You're
I
even wearing the Arsenal.
exactly rocked up, game faces on. But Arsenal are winning the league this year, but they've had a bit of a rocky start in that they drew to Brighton. They beat the Wolves, I think. So they beat Aston Villa, which was a really big deal. But then that draw against Brighton was just before the international break. So all the momentum's kind of gone. Declan Rice got sent off. But now Spurs, they're going to take it this weekend. They're going to take it picking. So much so that if you go to Super Bets right now, there's this really cool bet. So there's a thing called a price boost segment. And it's on the left-hand side on all the sort of sports things. And they pick certain games.
Okay.
And then you get like boosted odds on certain things. So if you bet on Arsenal to score first, obviously a better team they will, and to win, 2.7 on the odds. So a hypothetical 100 gets you 270.
Simpiwe is a real gambler. You into sports betting, Dill?
Not much, but I
No.
think I might take that one on.
Well, I mean, it's not the most.
You should listen to Ben
Seems
and
like a
not
no-brainer. I
Sandile.
think Ben should open a segment giving
See-
betting advice.
Oh, I do. Thursdays. It's like
He doesn't watch your show, Ben.
mutual
Yeah.
friend.
Oh, great. Yeah.
But I mean, like, for it's you've known through betting advice and tips that I've given you, which obviously are not financial advice. 2.7 is decent odds, and for Arsenal to score first and to win, I think that's pretty good. So other games to look out for: Southampton are going to be beating Man United. Sorry, drawing, essentially losing. That's a 1:30 on Saturday. Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest. So that's what James is going to be doing, and then Man City versus Brentford at 4. And Chelsea versus Bournemouth. So not a great weekend for that. The Azerbaijan Grand Prix,
Oh,
though,
very important. Okay.
Now,
I'm glad
it's
you brought that
in
up.
this
Okay.
the Baku street circuit. It's amazing. Like, you think Azerbaijan, you think men who always look about 120, but they're actually 35 years old. You think goats, you think that kind of stuff. And you think women under the harsh disciplinary rules.
Yeah.
And you'd be right. But then the Baku street circuit is like, that's like the Monaco of that place. Hey, look there.
Oh, look. That's
Oh.
what a lovely place.
That is Azerbaijan, man.
That's their city hall in the background.
And that's a summer look. That's a summer look from a local designer in Azerbaijan. Basically, like the derelict campaign from Zoolander, I think, came from the back streets of Azerbaijan. But
That's lovely.
But the Grand Prix is quite something. It's beautiful.
It is.
That city looks amazing. The street circuit is incredible. And because
Really?
of the nature of the street circuit, like Singapore is quite finicky. We know Monaco is just a shit racetrack. It's a lovely place, but it's a shit racetrack.
Sure.
Whereas Baku, you've got these long stretches, you've got these intricate turns. So if you're really good in the straights, amazing. If you're great at cornering and chicaning, also amazing. So no doubt it produces a more ultimate sort of winner. So Red Bull's done really well the last few years. The last 3 years they've won. But now, as we know, McLaren are the best team. Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris, they are the best. So it's all about who beats them. But Charles Leclerc had a pole there for the last 3 years, I think it has been. So he's also been a dark horse. His car's just been upgraded. He just won in Monza. So I think it's, again, going to be one of those brilliantly competitive Grand Prix. Because like a year ago, or even before that, all we'd say is Max Verstappen's going to win. Mercedes might get a podium. Now it's like, fuck, 4 guys could win. But legit,
No, that's
4 guys.
That's cool.
So-
No, there are a couple of comments here that are quite funny. Congo Chris says, "Who told Ben it's bring your son to work day?"
Yeah.
And then someone else said, "We've got to hire you, Dill, just so we can get you some new jeans because it looks like those ones are half off."
Dill, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
So
That one's
Style.
old though. Hey? I mean,
Still.
every second middle-aged man tells me my jeans were half price.
Middle-aged men.
Yeah,
All right,
that's the style. That's
All right.
you know, the look
All
that
right.
the
Simpiwe's on
kids
your
had.
side.
Dill, I mean, like the jokes are sometimes better than the comments. Just a rough day there. Fuck you, Chris. There's
How
also
the fuck? This is a good question from Durban Dope. How the hell does Azerbaijan have a Grand Prix and we don't?
because they've probably got some sort of natural gas running through an endless pipeway.
That is embarrassing.
Well, the gas
Well,
or
Those
the
people can't even spell Azerbaijan.
Simpiwe,
Yeah.
can you spell Azerbaijan?
Azerbaijan.
Well, you know how to spell, right? You say the letter.
I'm sounding it out.
Can you?
Just
Oh
like-
wow! Look there.
See, that's Azerbaijan. There we
Those
go.
children.
That child, that's his moustache.
That he's 11.
He's a grown man. Is that what you're saying?
That child with the moustache is 11.
And you see that girl on the far side there?
Yes.
Those are kids on the right. Azerbaijan, what a place! I mean, they're selling like
Fascinating.
salted turnips there. Look, there is more football of a local variety this weekend. The PSL is back. Okay, so we know
okay.
that
Is
that's
it exciting though?
yes, it is actually, because normally, just like Red Bull always used to win, Sundowns always used to win.
Yeah.
Sundowns didn't score a goal in the MTN8 semis. 2 legs, no goals. They've got a new coach. The general thought is that they're going to start quite slowly. They've got the Tshwane Derby straight away, Supersport United this weekend. That's going to be the biggest game in the PSL this weekend. The bigger teams are kind of playing Tuesday and Wednesday. But I really do think, I've already put money on it. Superbets is going to 5x my money.
Okay.
Good tip.
Okay.
Because I think Pirates are
Drinks
going to...
on Ben.
I think Pirates are
Yeah.
going to win the league. I think Pirates are going to win the league this year. I really do. So they will be playing Chippa United. I think it's on Monday. No, they're playing on Wednesday. So, I mean, it's Saturday, and then there's a whole bunch of games midweek, and the Champions League starts next week, midweek as well. But the PSL starts. The last thing I want to talk about for the sport is UFC 306.
Ah, yeah.
Okay.
Funnily enough, the last time I think we all went out in Pretoria together, it was with Drickus.
It was,
The
yeah.
last time I
We're
saw
having-
both of you in
Yeah,
one.
it was-
Oh,
It was probably before he
that was before he
ascended
became
to the echelons
super
of-
fan.
Yeah, I mean, that was a long
Yeah.
time ago when I could still get hold of him. That was before he even fought Darren Till.
Yeah. Now you can't. Now you can have his number, but it doesn't mean you're going to get through to him.
Yeah, that was before Darren Till. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Guys, we should actually hang out more often.
Yeah.
So,
you
dive
guys
on
need to
us.
venture out to Pretoria. I mean,
So UFC 306. The card's not amazing. It's 306. It's at the Sphere. So in Las Vegas.
In Las
there's
Vegas,
this-
that incredible
giant-
place. Yeah.
It's
Wow.
the first sporting event that's going to be taking place in the Sphere. But this is where the UFC, they get a bit weird. So they go, oh, it's all about Mexico, but
Yeah.
it's the most expensive event in Las Vegas, sponsored by Saudi Arabians. There are obviously going to be Mexicans.
Saudis are everywhere. Shucks.
Riyadh season. There we go. But
Wow.
so Dana White basically went to a YouTube concert there and had the time of his life. He's like, we're doing this. So as you would normally see, and if you're just listening through the podcast, this is going to just, theater of the mind kind of moment here. The octagon is in the middle of the stadium and the seating is all around equidistance. Whereas the Sphere, the octagon is against the one wall, and then the whole screen, as you see there on the screen,
Oh, wow.
is behind it.
That's phenomenal.
So you all sit actually in one direction looking at the fights.
God, that must be such a weird.
well,
Can you imagine being in there and like taking mushrooms?
while watching Mortal
You're gonna
Kombat.
feel like you got clapped dead.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna be like, oh.
Yeah.
Well, what's the thinking here? They're going to be projecting that all over the Sphere, or is
So
it?
no, it'll be internal, obviously. So the thinking is still that the UFC has to do everything at the forefront of sports. So
Right.
there's been no sporting events in here. Like you can't get many sporting events in here. It's quite small. But for fighting, it's perfect. So farting's obviously always at the forefront.
Rots.
So what's going to happen is that when people come out, there's going to be sort of like movies that get played around the fight as
Yeah.
like the big preview of the fight, which is cool. But if any of these oaks drop out, they cannot re-render any images within 7 days, 7 to 12 days.
Sure.
So if any of these guys miss weight, get injured, whatever, they'll walk out to
That's
nothing
hectic.
because they can't put other screens in. They've rendered everything out already. So it's got some challenges to it. But like I said, it's not the greatest card. The main event, though, is going to be quite special. Sean O'Malley, who is now going to be into his third title fight. He's had one defense. He's fighting Merab Dvalishvili. As you can see, Dvalishvili on the right there looks like Quagga Smith.
Yeah.
He's
does.
such a hard bastard. This oak is such a machine, but he's also very small.
And they got the chicks as well, huh?
Yeah, well spotted there, Gareth. We've got the Mexican woman Grasso will be taking on Shevchenko.
That's nice.
They've fought before, and Grasso's just been better. But Shevchenko is kind of like a bit of a
That's
goat.
nice.
She's Russian.
Yeah.
She's got tattoos of guns on her, so they call
That's
her
lovely.
the Bullet.
Yeah.
So quite hardcore. But getting back to the main fight, so Sugar Sean O'Malley, phenomenal striker. He really is like the next generation Conor McGregor in this sort of realm. That Merab Dvalishvili, he's rougher than a goat's knee. But it's going to be difficult for him to beat O'Malley because O'Malley creates quite a lot of space, got a lot of reach. So Dvalishvili is going to have to eat quite a lot of punches just to close the distance in order to get the mauling that his country knows. He's from Georgia.
Yeah, well.
So I still think that Sugar Sean's going to win this one. He's just too much of a precise striker, and I think his takedown defense is good enough.
Okay, well, Audrey in the comments says, I'm going to Murabur finals tomorrow. That's as close to the UFC as I'll get for now. Have you heard of this?
Yes, one of my so Cameron.
Murabur.
So Cameron, who's been on the show, that's his production. That's his thing.
Okay, what
And
happens?
Murabur is basically he's gone out there and he's found 8 or 10 Bura, and they're all going to mur each other.
Really?
This
Literally.
is brandy induced.
No, like he's recruited these oaks from various farms. It's on YouTube. Go to YouTube, Murabur. And
They're
it's
like wearing khaki shorts and everything.
it's a full show, guys. So basically, he finds these farmers who've never fought before properly.
Yeah.
And now he trains them in the arts of mixed martial arts. Also,
Oh,
it culminates into them murdering each other
That's amazing.
at the end.
I can see that for free though. Any night I go out in Pretoria,
It's not the same, guys.
That's
right?
why he
Though? I
avoids
mean,
half
we
this.
know that. We know
That's
that for a
not the
fact.
same, guys. All of you with your cuck jokes like, "Oh, Drickus is the world champ, but he's a 5th bet in Boxburg."
No, but
Shut
that's
up.
true though. It's true.
Shut up.
though.
He's got nothing on
It's
Pretoria.
true.
Shut up.
He's
It
gonna-
I didn't
is,
say
it is-
that.
it is a professional sport. It is incredible what these guys put into this. Do not discredit them with last year's cuck jokes. So what Cameron's done is he just found these oaks and now have fight skills. And then they're all going to get
Look at
Lekko
that.
afterwards there.
Those Buddha are going to murder each other.
On the map.
Oaks. This looks like that's a jaw.
But guys, this is our country. This is culture right here.
Right.
Come here with your
Wait,
cancel
so
culture
we have
bullshit.
Mr.
Two-tone and
Van
Fellies.
over there.
Yes, two-tone
Yeah.
fillies and competitive
Look at them.
fighting.
They even dress like Buddha
Yeah, then we have who? Like what?
And where does this take place? Well,
at the Heartfelt Arena. It's, again,
on
Pretoria.
the concrete
Oh
floor.
my god.
There you
Oh,
No,
No, they'll obviously put some
No
millions.
canvas, nothing.
They'll
No,
put some
go.
millions down
Concrete
there.
floor, couple of Brunnervein and Cokes in.
Guys, this is
I'd
the
be
bales
more worried
around.
this
about
is the
crowd.
spine. This is the spine of our nation here.
Yo, guys. I'm actually worried. I don't think we
It's
should
funny
be
that you mentioned it.
promoting
You guys
that.
obviously watched the Drickers fight,
yeah,
where they had the guy to come in and translate from Afrikaans to English.
yeah, exactly.
And at one point, the guy goes, "We're gonna have to murom," and the translator, obviously not translating to English, goes, "Yeah, Drickers, you're gonna have to murom."
But
There's no other way to
even
say it.
better is that he started off by translating Afrikaans into slower Afrikaans.
Here, Ben, are you not covering slap fighting? That thing is intense.
Ooh.
Yo, says my
Yeah,
fella.
sure.
Slap fighting.
But like we said a few weeks
I've
ago,
seen it.
I'm not also covering your daughter's touch rugby tournament. We can't do it all.
Yeah, no, that's true. Alex says they should get a fight bonus if they don't spill the brandy.
Screw you, Alex. These are professional
one.
people. They're trying hard.
But I've seen.
This is legit.
Okay, so I know. I agree with you, Ben. You can't really compare professional athletes with oaks who fight in nightclubs. But in Pretoria, at certain places, I have seen guys hold on to their drink, clap another oak, and not spill a drop.
Because that's the rule. You never spill the alcohol.
Yeah, I mean,
That
it's
is
just
the rule.
bad breeding.
Is that a rule on the East Rand too?
Ye-
St.
yes, you never spill the alcohol. Anything can happen. If I'm holding this cup and I trip, I can fall. The
Listen,
cup has to.
I definitely disagree.
It
I've
needs to
seen a few
survive.
good brandies flung
I guess I know.
from one corner
It's
of
a
a bar
fight.
to another. and
It's a fight.
perfectly
You
land.
wasting good alcohol. You are wasting good alcohol.
Well, it's obviously a sort of more highbrow sort of
All right,
establishment.
well, that's quite a lot of sport.
Look, there's also the Solheim Cup, which is
What's that?
Ryder Cup for ladies, basically.
Oh,
So
thanks for the inclusion.
you're welcome.
Ben invented it just to be inclusive. Yeah, that's how he is. You know, Ben.
I mentioned the
when people
women.
see Ben, they see inclusivity. That's all
Of course
they
they
think.
do. I'm the face of it nowadays. I mean, I mentioned the women's fighting and the Solheim Cup. Leave the best to last, simply. Right?
Okay.
Do you know who's playing?
No.
Okay, we'll catch up on that next week.
All right, but I do have an interesting statistic. Warris actually tweeted this out yesterday. How much money has been made in professional basketball
Oh wow.
over the 23-24 season versus how much money has been made by women who show their vaginas on OnlyFans. Who do you
Oh
think
my
has made more money?
Yeah,
OnlyFans, easily.
those vaginas.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Easily.
The
What do you
vaginas on
mean?
They're
OnlyFans.
prolific. Those
Well,
vaginas.
here are the numbers, just so you know. We will give you a $6.6 billion 2023 OnlyFans content creators and 4.9 billion, a measly 4.9 billion in the 2023-24 NBA combined payroll.
Just going to ask you a question now,
Sure.
objectively around the panel here. Who's worked harder for that money?
I would say,
The OnlyFans.
yeah, but do we want this? Is this what we want for humanity?
No, but the reality is
Humanity
the
seems to want that.
OnlyFans are
though.
working harder.
Really?
Humanity seems to want that. So I mean,
No.
I'm just
I
saying.
don't begrudge those women their 6.9. Oh, obviously, there's not one woman who got 6.9.
wow, that's
Billion.
a talented vagina.
That
If that
would
was
be-
the case, yeah.
It would be able to talk and tie a knot,
Pretty coaching LeBron.
and all kinds of things. But that's a lot of money. I mean, even if there are, maybe 100,000 of these women who are seriously making money, that's quite a nice payday for each of them.
I'd love to see the stats on individual
Oh yeah.
OnlyFans pages.
Well, they never
they're
never
top 10
publish them.
earners.
No, they never
They're
publish
milking
them.
it. Like, I know some of the celebrities because Black China was on there and she went from like earning a couple of millions within a few hours of starting her OnlyFans. And now she's stopped. So there's a lot of money in it. That's why I'm saying that like these ladies, all you need to do is, and some of them are like, I'm not even sharing anything explicit. It's just my toes, and they're making
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
300-400K
See, I
because people have like a toe fetish.
I haven't got the toes for that.
No, me neither.
Oh,
Yeah, you
never
see
know.
now you can't be on OnlyFans.
No, my girlfriend reminds me quite often I don't have the toes for that. But another question, okay? All that money, how much is that because people just don't have kids anymore and they don't have like families and that kind of stuff? It's just
So what, nowhere to put the money?
It's just they have this disposable income. They're going to go, I'm just going to look at vaginas.
Yeah, for
I
like
just don't. Okay,
$32.
like I really don't understand it because there's so much free stuff anyway. Like, why would you want to pay?
It's
for this.
because
Oh, there we go.
there's a barrier to entry there. It's
What's-
sort of like what's behind the door.
Oh, so it's got to be,
like-
and it's got to be people you know.
Well, not
Is
necessarily.
that what people want?
you
Like
know.
famous celebrities?
No, not even. I mean, there's South African OnlyFans who are not famous and they are milking it. It's the fact that you need to kind of just be like, hey, I'm willing to show some titties, some bums, maybe some toes,
Sure.
and then people will
And
buy
you got
into it.
you got to ply your trade. If that's all you got, then
Yeah, and all I'm saying is there are people out there with no talent at all, and
Yeah.
they're making money, millions.
Yeah.
They are never stressed about
But people, that's
paying bills.
That's the bottom line here. Like we all talk about these careers we have, like the reflections of our personality and my ambition and my endeavors. No, you do this because you find a way to make money.
Yeah.
So if you're getting your vagina out or your toes or whatever,
Sure.
are they that different to us?
look at Ben being
Yes, I think they are.
considerate to the.
I think they
the-
are.
I don't know.
If
I
we-
think I'm just
the
too old
sex
school to
workers.
find it
I'm also-
any justification.
So am I. But they are doing fundamentally what any of us do.
I can't believe that the actual amount that's been made there. I mean,
Yes,
just imagine you're the guy who invented OnlyFans because he's getting what 10-20% of that.
Is he though?
and
That
then
is
you
a
remember the
that's a
time
good payday.
when he was like, "Oh no, OnlyFans is not a platform for explicit content,
Yeah,
so we're
and
going
everyone
to
laughed at him.
remove all the explicit content." And then everything went shikukukuku, and he was like, "No, it's
Yeah.
fine. You guys can come
Yeah,
back
yeah.
because
Yeah, he tried to do his whole like, I'm going to be moral about this. We're going to shut this down. It's not good. This is exploiting people. Blah blah blah. And then all the content creators complained. And then he looked at his bank balance and saw it wasn't growing as fast as it was before. He's like, morality and ethics be damned. I don't need that. I'll have the 1.2. I think his share of that is about 1.2 billion.
Having a
Yeah.
billion must be nice. And
I'm
if,
sure.
as Bitcoin Butch said here, if LeBron James started an OnlyFans account, he'd have more money than the woman.
I don't know.
I don't
so
think
much.
you'd have the longevity though, because once
No.
you've seen that pile through, I don't know, whoever, it'll have a tiny shelf life. And also, you don't want to. If you see LeBron James's feet, you are not going to pay money.
That's what you think.
Have you seen his feet?
No, I haven't.
Do not. If there's a Google search, you should stay away from like Azerbaijan children and
I'm getting
LeBron
worried,
James.
Ben. Why are you looking at
Yeah, I'm
feet?
getting
Oh,
worried
how do you
too.
know
Yeah.
about
Guys,
his feet?
This is a universal.
It's all things sport. Eh?
Trust
Oh,
me.
I do want to talk to you
LeBron
about
James's
something.
feet are like
And I want Simpiwe and Dylan's input on this too. So there was a little bit of controversy. It was like a storm in a teacup about the prices for the Springbok game last week, how expensive it was and how not everybody can afford, and we have to make it accessible. I mean, there was, I think, Dan Corder, who has a Twitter account or something, and he was saying it's very unfair that nobody can make it to the Springbok game because it's super expensive.
That guy, he looks like one of Conrad Koch's like puppets that got struck by lightning and came to life. Look, he's a character. No, there's no ways that's an actual person.
I don't know him at all. So
he's a character because he's on that sort of strange leftist narrative thing. But people always want to be part of what's great, right? When the Springboks were getting dicked by people and they were 7th in the world, no one was talking about ticket prices. Nobody was going like, oh,
in fact, you couldn't even fill Loftus's East Pavilion.
No. Stadiums didn't want them.
No, that's right.
So this whole ticket thing, it's this horrible like way that people react in this country. Like, oh, I can't be part of this, so therefore it must come to me. I can't ever go to it.
Yeah.
And yes, the ticket prices are expensive because have you any idea how much it costs to host the Springboks? Millions and millions and millions and millions. Back in the day when they were shite, stadiums didn't want to do it because they couldn't actually make money. So it would be an absolute loss for them because they would have to get at least 80% capacity to break even.
Really? Is that how high it is?
That's how
their margins are so slim.
That's like a very rough model from years back. Okay, so not everybody wants the Springboks because they're the best in the world. So people, again, they're just never honest. So another thing that goes into them being the best in the world is that they hire the best coaches. They get to pay our Oaks lots of money. And then they go, oh, but look at all the sponsors. Okay, great. But sorry, haven't been so great in the commercials so far. One guy who I know works in this field says that Saru and box sponsorships to this point have not been commercially sound. They've just been about here's. So you get these companies that go, let's sponsor the box, then we get a box, and then we can take our mates there. And it hasn't been great. Saru itself actually run at a loss. So before the British and Irish Lions series, if that series didn't happen, doors closed. No more.
Really? They don't have like a very sound business system going on there.
It's just so hard because they have to. Now, this is where it gets tricky.
You would never think that, right?
This is where it gets tricky. And all these retards, sorry, that's a horrible word, all these mongoloids who were just so quick to go, me, give me. Sorry,
they just want free stuff.
Sorry has to pay for development rugby. That women's Springbok team that ran out last week had that really great win last week. Who's paying them? We're not paying them. Sorry has to cough up all this cash. Western Province Rugby Union went into administration or bankruptcy, whatever. Sorry had to bail them out. We've gone to go play URC rugby, those kind of things. We actually lost money in the first few years of doing that.
Then is this maybe mismanagement of funds? Because they are big sponsors. I mean,
of course they are.
For instance, in Cape Town, DHL are massive. Lysaght Fairs are clearly behind the box. There's big money back in them. I mean, surely,
but still, the overheads.
You can't run it at such a loss. I understand their overheads,
but the overheads are so large because all these unions are so amateurish. They aren't very financially sound themselves. So Sorry has to keep coming in. It's like a dad it's like Gary Player and his kids.
Oh,
that's probably the analogy.
That's a good analogy.
Gary Player, lots of money. Kids, disasters. And that's kind of how SA Rugby's been run. So now, to carry on with Gary, so when Gary goes and wins a major tournament, and everyone goes, wow, that's way too much money. It's like, bitch, please. That's a trickle down so far. So now, when the Springboks play their handful of matches at home where they can make the money, that money has got to go everywhere.
Question then, right? But why is there such a big discrepancy between when they played here at Loftus, right? No one was complaining about ticket prices and people showed out in numbers and we've been showing them. But it goes to Cape Town and Chigi is 3 million. Why?
Yeah, well, economies of scale. There's different sort of markets there.
But can you see why people are crying?
I can look.
On time, if I come to Joburg from Cape Town, I pay half the price. But Cape Town, what is it about Cape Town? Like, we have to pay
for accommodation in Broncos practice is a hell of a lot cheaper than it is in Cape
Town. But this is the thing.
The costs are inherently high.
But this is the thing about general economics.
One night's rent in a hotel room in Cape Town is like 3 months' salary for someone from Pretoria. So that's part of it.
A lot of people are allergic to economics in this country because all of this leftist bullshit that Beanie Guy and the rest of them are pushing out
and
there.
And Pravin, who died. They don't understand economics.
It's not real life, guys. Supply, demand, all these kind of things happening. So let's not moan about what we don't have. Let's moan about what we can be a part of. And then these people say to me online, but I also want to be part of this experience. Then go watch with your friends on a TV. Like for me, the Bok experience, I went to Ellis Park. I was lucky enough to get invited and I really fucking
you loved it. Great seats as well.
But I tell you what, the Bok experience for me is lived every single day. I watch the game. I talk about the game with my mates. Like a petrol attendant will give me a fist bump on a Monday because of the Bokke. The Bokke are amazing because that is our life, okay? But now if we have 10 Rand a ticket bullshit, suddenly they go into the red, they don't make any money, then they don't have the ability to retain coaches. Then now we're 5th and 6th, and everyone's going, oh, you guys are a bunch of losers. Why are you so shit?
And then no one wants to go.
Nobody wants to watch it.
Right.
Nobody appreciates that nice things cost a bit of money. And if you want to be a brand, which the Springboks are, have those players give a shit and all that kind of stuff, and have a cry and chasing the sun and aeroplanes.
It's basically, this is just, again, communists.
Ruin everything.
Communists screw up everything that is good on planet Earth. And we've got to stop listening to them. I mean, I don't know why anyone is. How many more times must they get it wrong? How many more people have to be buried for these communists to just change their opinion?
It's terrible parenting.
Yeah, it's bad parenting. That's what it is.
They're growing up listening to Beanie Guy and Julius and all these other people because they don't have like dads or moms or uncles
they never
or
got
friends.
A club.
Guys, it hurts.
They need to go to Murabur.
Exactly.
Then that'll sort them out.
It hurts. It hurts my mind when like this. We must appreciate what these are and actually have faith in the fact that Saru, again, they do so much for rugby. Let them try and make some money. They're not going, haha, we're going to rinse these guys today. And we're only going to go, because it also comes down to, we're only going to go for rich white people. No, that's not how Saru works. They don't go, our support base must be rich white people. Our support base is what it is. It's the most diverse sporting code in the whole country.
Absolutely. And you don't choose your audience. Your audience chooses you.
Their whole role is to create an amazing product. And people keep telling me, oh, but it's not a business. It is a fucking business. And they go, oh, it's a national what. It's not. Trust me, everything's a business first.
I want to change the subject quickly before we wrap up for this hour. I have seldom felt sorry for someone that I don't know.
Okay.
That I've never met. But I want you to watch this video of Taylor Swift and Travis, her boyfriend, at the US Open. I want you to see this. I feel so sorry for this man. He clearly, he must love her, which is beautiful and amazing. And that's why he doesn't. No, well, I don't know. Maybe he loves her, okay?
I can say it on my chest. No, he doesn't.
All right. He's at the...
Thank you for speaking on behalf of all of us.
He's at the US Open with her. And she is so annoying. And you can see, like, the guy's embarrassed, but he's with Taylor Swift, and he knows what happens if you break up with her. You end up in a song, and he's trapped. Like, this is a Stockholm Syndrome situation. Just look at this quickly. This poor man, I don't know what to do here. Look. Look how unhappy he is. What's wrong with her? She's a performer.
Yeah, he's got Azerbaijani look there. Yeah. I'm quite pulled it off. I think the moustache is just to disguise who he really is.
I don't know if you could hear us while that was playing, but like the questions were, what is going on with that moustache? Why is he wearing that hat? What's wrong with Taylor Swift?
She's the problem. She is the problem. And the reason why I can confidently say that he does not love her is because they break up contract was leaked on social media.
Oh, really?
Or when they're supposedly going to break up.
Oh,
so
really?
this is just a publicity relationship. And also people have been doing so. Remember once upon a time I told you about the black wife effect where it was interracial couples and like the white guys were coming out to say, hey, this is how I looked like before I met my wife, and then this is how I look like now after meeting my wife, who so happens to be black, and they've got an upgrade.
Okay. Do you think he got an upgrade from Taylor?
No, so people are saying his ex-girlfriend was a black chick.
Oh.
They going through all the pictures of when they were together, and he looked on point. He was sexy. We were all like, oh, yes.
So Taylor's dragged them down.
And now with Taylor, what's up with that thing? Like, look at that massage. Nobody wants him. Nobody's like, yes, daddy. Like, it was just like, woo.
I feel sorry. Look, he doesn't want to be doing that. There are a million places he'd rather be. He's a football player.
The thing is, she's also so much more of a personality in terms of she's got such a big network. I mean, he's a famous guy already, as it is, and she's just out of this world. So I mean, it's quite an intimidating relationship to be in.
Yeah,
And
he
I feel at the
chose
same
it.
time, you sort of,
I think it must be exhausting.
yeah, you got to keep up appearances. You got to,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know how to act.
I
genuinely
feel
wouldn't know
I
that.
feel sorry for him. That's all I can say.
So can I just allude back to when the Proteas were at their best?
Mm.
They were dating swimsuit models.
Yes.
It was almost like it was a concerted PR effort.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you guys can't get hot chicks. Of course
Sure.
you do. That back in that time, sports stars were the only guys getting those kind of girls. And I get
Correct.
that. But I also think that no, I mean, this is going to sound horrible and personal, but this happens in sport. It just happens because all of them are on trajectories, right?
Yeah.
And how do you amplify those kind of things? With certain hookups, PR opportunities, what events you go to.
Yes.
Look,
So he's a social climber.
they all are. Goes back to this thing
Okay.
about everyone's got an ambition, everyone's got a career. We just execute it differently.
Congo Chris calls it the basic Becky effect. He looks like she only lets him drink in his man cave. Probably,
I
right?
don't know if he has a man cave anymore.
Look, he looks so sad.
he's sad. That's a
He's
very
crying
unhappy
out for
person.
help.
But guys, some guys actually like that here.
Mm,
There's also that. I mean, look, it's so easy just to pile on
Look,
Taylor
he's-
Swift because she's she's like a Dan Corda. I don't think she's a real person. I think she's a character.
Can I just also point out why all the Gucci branding? I mean, he's
been
got
dressed up.
yeah, he's got
He's
this.
been dressed
She
up like-
told him what to wear, right?
Yes, she's horrible like that. She's just
I don't know if any straight man can wear a mustache like that.
Like,
I think it's a
No.
good
you know
idea.
what I mean.
He looks like he's
Really?
gonna sing YMCA after.
Oh my gosh.
But I do,
Anyway,
I do
don't know.
appreciate the Gucci bucket hat. So she's at least given him that.
Yeah, but it doesn't
No, I
look
think
cool.
he got that from his last girlfriend.
Yeah,
That's
zoom
like-
into the eyes.
Like, you know
Says-
what I
look at
mean?
this. Bushveld says, zoom into the eyes. They scream, help. Yeah.
You know what
Shame.
it's giving? J-Lo and Ben Affleck.
Yes, J-Lo, Ben Affleck.
Oh my God.
That's
Yeah.
what it's given
Have
right
you got
now.
that J-Lo Ben Affleck picture?
Ben-
Where
Ben
throughout the
Affleck.
relationship, he looked so sad.
Yeah.
And now that they're getting a divorce, now he's smiling. He's shaved his
Yo,
mustache.
But guys,
He
she-
looks so
he
happy.
did it twice.
Yeah, I know. He
Some
went
guys
back
Yeah,
to
like
that's
her.
on
that.
him.
He
That's
went
on
back to her twice.
Some
Like
guys
he-
like it.
what abuse?
Yes. Yes. Look, it's not us.
I mean, we've all been there. We've all gone
You
back to
have?
the forbidden fruit.
I haven't. Like the abuse happens, I'm out.
I don't want abuse either.
No. And if
Have
J-Lo
you been
J-Lo
there?
I haven't been abused. No.
J-Lo looks like the type of woman who would hit Ben if he got out of line, right?
Yes.
And
She,
she does. She looks like that. She takes no nonsense. You don't have to be a massive J-Lo fan, but I think that she looks like someone who's got her shit together. She knows what she wants. She's in charge. And you remember that picture like Ben Affleck just with a cigarette, standing, his shoulders all hunched, just looking sad and unhappy. And that was in the middle of his first relationship with her. Then he went back.
yes.
I think he kind of deserves it then. But show that picture quickly.
Yeah.
This is from a news story.
So,
Let me
guys,
just-
there's a lot of nuance in relationships here. And I think when there's mileage in relationships too, there's a different sort of thing. I mean, as we pointed out, Dill's my child, so he's only 17.
Yeah.
Some people are also very young. And Gareth, you don't actually care for making many compromises in life.
no.
If we had a Carl, you in the comments, you I think are our oldest, most married person. Some guys also get to a point where it's like, fuck, this is it, huh? This is
Yeah.
all I got. So Ben Affleck looks around, and sure, he can hang out with all these OnlyFans chicks, and they'll probably give him a hand job here and there.
Mm.
But maybe he thinks that because nothing's real in his life. Maybe
No.
he thinks that this is the relationship, that's the real thing.
Well, also, I suppose in Hollywood there's pressure that you have to date someone who's higher than you on the social scale so that you can get some credit. It's
So
some clout.
that goes back to like old medieval class
Yeah,
systems.
of course. So here's a story that I hate this headline because it's from The Blast. It says Jennifer Lopez shows Ben Affleck what he's missing as she sizzles in a revealing gown at some event. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure he knows what he's missing. He's been there twice already. And I don't think he's thinking about her and going, well, in that outfit, I wish I hadn't broken up with her.
Well, I can tell you, Favor Adegoku over there, probably pink hair, probably on a diet of caffeine and cortisol.
Oh, you mean the author
The
of the
author of
article?
the- yeah.
Yeah. Favor Adegoke. I guarantee you that's like, yeah, that's whoever wrote this article. There we go. Look,
He looks so
look him.
miserable.
Look at him. I mean, guys, have some self-respect. It's not these women's fault. I don't blame them.
I'm trying to.
It's
I'm
these
trying
guys.
to balance
They're
the
weak.
conversation.
They're weak men.
Yeah.
They're weak men.
But also, guys, sometimes you just want to be with someone, and maybe that's where he is.
Oh, well,
Maybe Matt Damon no longer is his friend.
We all get what we deserve, says
Yes.
Percy.
Yes.
I think that's exactly right.
So right, Percy.
All right, that's a good note to end the first hour on. Ben, thank you for the sport. You're going to hang around with us a little longer. Dill, thanks for
but
popping by.
I do have to go relatively early today.
Well, then just fuck off now.
Oh.
Go.
Yeah. Bye, Ben. It was nice knowing you.
Go on.
See,
Bye,
this-
Ben. Bye, Dill.
We start talking replacements,
Right.
then it's like, go fuck off.
No.
now.
We'll see you on Monday's show in Bulgaria. So hang around for that.
Yeah, sorry. It's just like I've got to do some work stuff.
Oh, who cares? Like the people lost interest in the reason. Just go.
Bye.
All right, that's a wrap on the first hour. Cheers, everybody. We'll see you just now.
And I mean, look at the brand's portfolio. They, from the cheapest all the way up to Lexus,
most expensive.
Lexus, which is a sub brand, they cater for absolutely everything. You could have a performance Toyota, you can have an off-road performance Toyota, you can have a daily driver, you can have a budget car, you can have a workhorse. They just do everything, and they
You
do
can
it
have
well.
a race car.
Catch us every Monday at 9 a.m. on YouTube and on autotrader.co.za.
This week on the Superbets calls, I'm doing something a little bit more unique. If you go onto the site, on the left-hand side, you'll see a thing saying Price Boost segment. And they've got a football segment within there where they've chosen 3 games to put price boosts on. So, as you know, I'm backing Arsenal to beat Spurs this week. And there are a whole bunch of really, really cool markets to go for. Whether it's corners, exact scores, goals, who scores first, last, half-time, full-time, whatever. So what I'm doing for my pick this week is I'm going for Arsenal to score first and for them to win. That gives me odds of 2.7. My hypothetical 100 gets a return of 270. I think that's quite a cool kind of option there because Arsenal are going to win and they're going to bring the heat from early. So that's my call for this week. It's pretty standard and decent odds on top of that.
Let me let. I'm out to like, yo, man, this song has been doing the things on the socials. People are crying about it. It's being played in the clubs. We need to release it. Homie is known for being difficult when it comes to the admin of stuff or the release of songs.
Is it really fair? Because sometimes I think what people do in their minds, they think because something is mine, my vocals are on it, my this, my that, you forget about the infrastructure that's into your thing going that far.
Sure.
And would you rather have 100% of nothing or 10% of a fortune?
Righty, welcome to the Gareth Cliff Show on the Real Network. Friday morning, we're already at it's Friday the 13th. Dun, dun, dun. Is anybody afraid of Friday the 13th? Are you superstitious about that?
No.
No?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
You walk under ladders?
No.
If you see a black cat?
I don't like animals in general. So I'm already like, oh.
Well.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is Friday the 13th. It doesn't mean it has to be bad news. And of course, if you want to place bets like Ben is, you can do that too. All you need to do is go along to our page, The Real Network. You could also follow us on the socials and you will find out all of the stuff that's going on. Part of what they do on The Bounce is they give you odds. And Ben said to us he's leveraged himself quite highly against, or rather for Arsenal this weekend for some football, and he's put some money on it. So if you want to, you can go and do that too with Super Bets. They support responsible gambling, strictly no under 18s, winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation's toll-free counseling hotline 0800 006 008. We have a few other things that we have to talk about this morning. Very important. You know, we were talking about making money. I don't know if it's going to make him any money, but R. Kelly is definitely looking to make friends. You know, R. Kelly's in jail because he's a pedophile.
He's a
horrible person, and he's an abuser. So he's in jail at the moment, but apparently he's going to give a free concert in prison.
Oh, he's already like giving the free concert. You know, prisons amaze me. Like, I thought it was just a South African thing, but it seems like in America also prisoners have phones where they can record, and they basically
it's not so bad.
Yeah, they basically recorded. I think R. Kelly was doing one of his shifts or work or whatever he was up to, and he was singing full on like R. Kelly vibes, and they're like, it's a free R. Kelly concert. And the song in particular, it was just like, not you, sir, singing the song.
What was he singing?
Wait, they need to play the clip. Like,
all right,
you need to
hear. We got that clip of R. Kelly. Watch this.
But my body is telling me yes. I don't want to hurt nobody, but there is something that I must confess.
That's a very loud TikTok. Thank you for that. I know that song, but he's just he's standing there at the lunch table or something. There's no one else around.
Yeah,
if anybody was listening on audio instead of watching the show, then I mean, that's kind of sad.
Jeez.
It's not really a free concert. It's him.
But they're all listening.
All on its own. Well, they are, but they're kind of filming from a distance and not letting him have too much shine, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's like, my mom's telling me no, but my body. It's like, not you, sir. Not you seeing that. Not you.
Yo. Must be tough in prison.
Oh, it must be. And it's just like, shucks.
Oh my God. How sad. That's so sad. Shame. I feel more sorry for him, even though I know he's a terrible person, than I do for Travis Kelly. It's Kelsey. Travis Kelsey. Okay. So, oh, shame.
My mom is saying I need to get out.
Yeah. That's right. Get out, dude. Run while you can. Run for the hills. My God. Some good news for you this morning. Apparently, according to the new Home Affairs Minister, well, not so new. I mean, they've been in for
a few months.
A few months. Says they're going to transform the Department of Home Affairs by creating a digital platform to eliminate the need for a physical visit. Isn't that great?
That's amazing.
I mean, who wants to go? Have you ever met anyone and they said, I love going to Home Affairs. It's my favorite part of the week.
It's the worst thing ever because you have to like cancel out your entire day.
Yeah.
In fact, like just government departments are the worst. You just have to schedule out a whole day and be like, guys, I need to go to Home Affairs. I need to go get my license. I need to go do this. The whole day is gone because system offline is the worst thing you can ever hear.
No, Leanne told us how she went to the city of Joburg on Monday and she had all of this.
Yeah, and then it's just queues on queues. Even if you've booked an appointment, it's just like, it's just, so if it's online, yippee, hooray, I'm happy. Like the ministers are working. And
yeah, I like this.
I will always give them, a round of applause when they're doing something great so that they can continue to do it. And then this can become the new norm.
Well, he says that they are going to have a platform which will process applications online, similar to the online banking portals. Through facial and fingerprint recognition tools, a secure profile for citizens and visitors can be established. The transformation would reduce the need for physical visits and improve efficiency. Yes. Schreiber also drew inspiration from the digital transformation of the South African Revenue Service. Exactly. Just proving government can do this. They do it with SARS, right?
I've never heard SARS say system offline.
Never. We should all be so lucky that SARS should go offline. Anyway, they expressed confidence in the government's ability to turn things around at Home Affairs. The department has made progress in clearing its visa application backlog and aims to have it fully cleared by December of this year.
Let's go.
I love it.
Let's go.
Again, let's give credit where it's due. This is very good news. If we can get Home Affairs working, it's one more thing we don't want to worry about.
Yes.
Now, we talk about R. Kelly, very embarrassing, pathetic. That's the lower end of the artist pool. The top end of the artist pool, Tyla.
What
is-
the heck?
That's actually how she sounds, right? What the heck? So Tyla has just got the Best Afrobeats Award at the VMAs.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
That's very nice.
Halala, halala.
Yeah, so what do you say? Where there's no DNA, only RSA?
Yeah, no DNA, just
Mhm.
RSA. Like SA's been doing really great. Ben didn't touch on the Paralympics, but I think
We got some medals.
Yeah, I think we're on 6 medals. Last time I checked, we had.
You mean it's
like,
still going?
I
Okay.
think it's- yeah,
I'm sorry.
last time I checked, last time
Our interest flagged there very quickly.
it could have been the closing ceremony could have happened yesterday. I don't know. So we have like 5 bronze, 1 gold. Shout out to them; they're doing great. I think Bafana did something amazing as well. Like, you know, also a goalkeeper got nominated for a Ballon d'Or. Like, we're just doing
We're killing it. I like this.
amazing things. So halala all around. Like,
All right, so her song Water has earned her another award. Best Afrobeats trophy at the MTV Video Music Awards, making her the first African female artist and South African to win a VMA. Very nice.
that's dope.
She
Shout out.
previously won her first Grammy earlier this year, so she's having a great year.
Yeah, she's won a Grammy, Billboards, BET, and now a VMA. Like, Tyla, girl.
What the heck?
Yes, you're putting pressure on us, eh?
So,
like, I'm just like, what am I doing with my life? Oh.
apparently, the success of African music, particularly in genres like Amapiano, which is taking the world by storm.
Yes.
She says she proudly represents that, showcasing the diversity of our music on this continent, and expressed her pride in South Africa and stressed the importance of elevating our music on the world stage. So she's not just making it about her. Her debut album, Tyla, has received positive receptions, while her debut single, Water, topped global charts in 2023, propelling her to fame. Recent achievement further showcases Africa's influence on the global music scene. So we'll take it.
Yes.
I like it very much.
Love
Good
it.
for her.
Yes.
Making us proud. Okay, so this, not so great. Apparently, there's a Louis Vuitton customer who got revenge. Now, Simpiwe loves stories like this. So I'm going to let her tell you what actually happened.
Like, I think you're also going to love this, guys.
Okay,
I think you're going to appreciate this story.
go for it.
So what happened was there was this Chinese lady who walked into a Louis Vuitton store and she got mistreated, right? And she did not make a fuss. In fact, a couple of days later, she went back to the same store. I think this time around, she changed her outfit or look or appearance. And okay, she picked up a couple of outfits, you know, and was like, I'm going to go to the tills and pay. And she had cash on her, about 600,000 yen, which is like over R1 million in South African rands. And they had
In cash.
in cash, and they had to count it. And it took them about 2 hours, just counting, just, you know, making sure that they
I
have
love
that
it.
amount. And then when they got to the amount, right, she's like, by the way, I didn't want any of the clothes. Took her money, left.
So she had the money.
Had the money.
They mistreated her because they thought she was poor.
Yes.
She went back with a suitcase full of cash.
Yes.
Made them count it for nothing.
For nothing.
Walked out with zero.
Yes.
Well, with her money, obviously.
Like, what level of petty is that?
I like it.
Like, I mean.
I like it. It's like the next time someone you really, really hate, like let's say the SABC TV license people come,
Yes.
pay them, but in coins.
Like,
Give them, I don't know if we can even get coins anymore from the banks, because I know that, for example, I don't think there's a 1, 2, or a 5 cent even in circulation anymore.
Yeah.
You can't really get them. You don't see those anymore. But if you can still get 1 rand and 2 rand coins, and you have to pay them, I don't know, 500 rand or whatever in coins. Do you know how much fun that is?
because they have to count.
And they have to carry it, and it's heavy. It's metal. Love it.
Like,
Yes, I love
wait,
this. I
what?
love this story. That
like
makes me
she
so
took
happy.
the time to actually withdraw the money and just teach them a lesson. And I love the fact that she wasn't like, do you know who I am? Because you know how these ladies get when they're in these like very luxurious stores and they're like, I can afford to buy everything here.
Right.
She was like, you know what? It's fine. In fact, I'm going to come back to the same store. I wonder if it was the same people that were assisting her. But I think, Yassi, you have upped my game of like petty. Now I'm like,
love
okay,
it.
cool.
Roland says that's stupid, wasting 2 hours of your own time. You know, sometimes revenge is worth it.
Yes.
I'm not a particularly vengeful person, but I like the story. I don't know if I would do that. You would.
I wouldn't. I don't have the patience
But
for
it's
it.
nice to watch other people do it.
Like, it's nice to hear
Yeah.
this because you always hear people complain about how they mistreated or how like a celebrity was at
Yeah.
a particular store and then they got kicked out because they didn't look up to par. And then this is just nice to be like, you can always get your revenge back without having to be like, well, look at me and I'm superior and I have the money and here's my black card and here's
Yeah,
this and
sure.
here's that. Like, she was just like, hey, I'm back.
But she made them suffer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I want to buy it. Because also she did that whole exercise of picking outfits and saying, okay, I want this, I want that. And people were like, okay, she really has money. And then she took out the cash and that's a count.
Well, we were talking about home affairs just a moment ago, and Rebellious Ruth says she has a whole bunch of shite that she has to go and do at home affairs. I can't wait. Well, they haven't got the systems up yet, but they're promising they will.
Yeah, I'm
If I were you,
excited.
maybe hold on if you can.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, just
And as for the shops, I remember a lovely story about a guy who went to like a Ferrari showroom, but he was dressed badly.
okay.
He was dressed like a, weekend, maybe he had shorts, sneakers, t-shirt,
Ooh,
whatever.
the kind that doesn't have money.
Yeah, he looked like he didn't have money, but he did. And he could have bought all the cars on that floor. And he was like, I'm going to go in. And the guys were rude to him again. They're like, I'm sorry, you can't test drive the car or anything. So he's like, all right. He went back. He bought the dealership and fired the people. That's pretty petty.
You see,
too.
this is what I mean. Like, when you have that kind of like, I wouldn't even say fuck you money. It's just like,
It is fuck you money.
well, that
It
one
is.
was. But I'm just like, when you can just, be like, you know what? It's cool. It's cool. Right now, I'm not going to say anything. But when I come back, it's on. And no one can say anything.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, revenge can be fun.
Come on.
Listen, I don't think that there's anything wrong with being like a little bit petty sometimes, especially if it's entertaining for other people. And if you've got the time and you want to make the effort, I'm all for it. We'll tell the stories.
Yeah.
Let us know your stories. If you've been petty and vengeful, we don't mind. Come and tell us. I mean, Carl says his friend has stuck paper stickers on his car that he cannot get off. One is an LGBT flag. One says, I'm trans and proud. Some serious revenge is coming.
Yo, I'm sorry.
I actually have a video of Carl's friend. Have we got that video of Carl's friend who put the trans sticker on his car that I sent you? Yes. Play that one. Here's Carl's friend, just so you know who it is. Got it? Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Here's Carl's friend. Look. Okay. While they're loading it. I did send you this stuff like 2 days ago, but okay, it's still loading it. We should call it petty cash. That's very funny. From Congo Chris. Yes. Petty cash is a good thing. We should, in fact, start a section of the show where we just tell the stories and play videos and show pictures of people being petty.
I love it.
That's fun. It's part of being human, and you've got to do it, right?
You do, because sometimes there are some cases where you just need to walk away, and then other times you have to be like, you need to know who I am. And it's in those moments where you're like, like the guy who bought the dealer.
Yeah,
bought the
I love
dealership.
that. Like, that's proper boss move.
Like, he could have bought like 3 cars in one day.
I mean, there's also the famous story of one of the actors. I think it could have been John Gielgud or one of them, who got really drunk with his friend, and on the way home they stopped at this bar and they wanted another drink, and the barkeeper said, "No, guys, you're too drunk already." And so they bought the bar because they wanted to carry on drinking. They wrote a check for him there and there. How much do you want for the bar? he said, I don't know, a couple of £100,000. They wrote a check for him and he gave them a drink. And the next morning they woke up super hungover, went back, and the guy hadn't cashed the check. So he was a real, like a good guy. And, they're good people and they're bad people. Like,
No, that sounds just like being stupid.
So somebody says here, you can use nail polish remover to get those stickers off your car. But could that do damage to your car?
I think so.
It's acetone, right?
Yes. So it's going to take away some of the color as well.
I think it'll take away some of the paint. I would not take Khomotso's suggestion here about the nail polish remover, all right? You got the clip? Okay, so here's Carl's friend who put the trans sticker on his car. I know this for a fact. Okay.
Teacher, and I'm currently out on sick leave owing to injury in performance of job-related tasks in the workplace caused by classroom transphobia and homophobia owing to
stop.
my own...
Just stop, because that's a real clip. Okay, it's not Carl's friend, but you get the gist. This guy's claiming that he's a victim of violence and hatred. Okay, hate and violence, because he's a teacher and he didn't think there was sufficient kindness and gentleness and delicate behavior around his transhood. So the fact that he's trans is a big deal to him. And if somebody called him her by mistake or whatever, or called her him, then they would be upset. And this person is claiming that in a classroom full of children, that's an adult, okay? In a classroom full of children, that adult is claiming there was violence done to him. So now he's on sick leave to like get over it because he's under such duress and pain and pressure. When you wake up today in South Africa and you have to go and do your work, or you have to battle through traffic, or you have to pay a lot to get your taxi from here to here to here, and then someone mugs you, or you have to go to the clinic because there's something wrong with you that you've been ignoring for like 3 weeks. You're being selfish. Don't think about yourself. Think about that poor trans person who is the victim of hate and has to be on sick leave for 2 weeks because the kids in their class didn't call them a him or a her or a they. Okay? So just stop thinking about yourself. All right. And just to prove it, here's another one. These just pop up, by the way, all the time. And these people are posting them themselves. So it's not like, there's some horrible person out there who's trying to make fun of these people. They are posting this stuff themselves. Have you got that other one of this is a waitress. She's also apparently trans, and she gets misgendered at her place of work, which is a restaurant, like not a fine dining place, some kind of like burger place. And listen to how unhappy this person is. You would swear that they had been murdered in their sleep.
Have you ever been paid to be hate crimed? Well, I have. So let me tell you about it. Okay, so yesterday I was at work serving this family that was sitting there like the three wise men. And then all of a sudden, out of the mom's mouth, I hear the trigger words, non-binary and gender fluid. Oh, and court is in session, and my ears are turned on. Let's do this. So basically, the mom was trying to explain to the dad what it meant to be non-binary or gender fluid. After a few minutes go by, the dad responds in the same way that every guy that looks like him would and says, I understand where they're coming from, but if you're biologically a male or a female, that's what you are. And then I'm standing there on display. So after a little bit of time, I march up to my colleague like I'm about to tattletale on a kid that just stole my toys. And she's like, yeah, I hate to tell you, the entire time they have been referring to you as he or him. Great. So that adds a little bit of insult to injury. And before you ask, no, they didn't tip well. Anyway, thank you.
You don't deserve a tip.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I got so much to unpack here. I don't even know if it's worth it, but let's do it anyway. I mean, I want you to have a happy Friday, and I don't want an unhappy person like that putting you off your happy Friday. So the first thing that I noticed is that person doesn't mind characterizing the dad or whoever by saying, well, a person dressed like a person like that would be says a thing that a person like that would say. So this person in this clip clearly has a preconceived notion about what that dad was going to say.
Yes.
So it's okay for them to mischaracterize or to be mean about that person and to make all kinds of assumptions about them. But God forbid that family who've come there to pay money to have a meal, not to be, interrogated about their social pros and cons around a waiter who's got identity crisis written all over her. And this is suddenly that family's problem. Like, they just want the meal. They actually don't give a shit. And frankly, the fact that they were talking about gender non-binary and all that stuff means they're a little more woke than the average patrons anyway. So they probably care more than most people. And instead of taking that as a gift, these people are discussing something which is close to your heart. She goes, my ears pricked up and I'm on full display, and does a little turn. Not everything's about you. Not everything is about you and what you think and how you feel. And there are other people in the world who have really important shit to do. And yours is not. And I feel a little bit sorry for you, but I feel more sorry for Travis Kelce.
Yeah, Shem. No, I'm so bored. I'm so bored, Shem. Can we just go back to the day where people would write in their journal, cry to their friend?
Yeah. Or shut up and deal with it. How about that?
Also,
how about just deal with it on your own? Go home and have a cry and move on. Cry in the shower so no one even needs to know. How about that? Huh?
And we all, I'm sorry to break it to you, but we are all going through something. Hey, the minute I have to start talking about my problems, oh my gosh, guys, I could be here for the whole day. And the next person can also share their problems.
Yeah.
You and your whatever, non-binary, binary, gender conforming, non-conforming.
And did you hear how she complained about the tip?
Hey, I get it again. I don't care. All I want is good food, guys. Can I deal with whatever is happening in my life with my family by you serving me food? And I promise you, people will tip you if you do a good job. I have the thing of I don't care who you are, what you do outside of work, but if you can just do a good job,
I will tip you. Yes.
Come on now.
Right.
And it seems like she was rude as hell, and the family was like, you know what? We tried.
Yeah.
We really did try. I tried explaining it to my man. This is how he views it. And that's okay. Leave people alone. Because now your bag is going to be affected. And
now who wants, who would want to hire someone with that attitude as a waiter anyway?
I wouldn't.
Snaye says, and I think this is right, this is the kind of stuff we make fun of here in South Africa. We don't have these kinds of problems, and I love it. I agree.
Yeah,
we have real... we have real shit to talk about.
Americans. I once upon a time I heard Trevor Noah saying that we need to do a cop swap with Americans and South Africans.
Mm-hmm.
I think we also just, in terms of society, we also just need to swap Americans with South Africans, because we'd teach them how to toughen up and just laugh at everything. Black parents laugh at their own kids at committing suicide and failing. Your name becomes you're no longer Simpiwe. Every time you come back home, they're like, "Ooh, I can't leave you alone now because you just might kill yourself." They say shit like that. They don't you just tried to kill yourself, and then the next day where you walk around and you're like, "Yeah, I'm feeling depressed today," they're going to be like, "Ooh, we must now look after this depression because you might just," you know what I mean? African parents go to America, and then Americans will toughen up a bit, be able to laugh and deal with jokes like that. Because imagine if you just tried to kill yourself and now your parents are calling you suicidal. The entire family is just "Oh, suicide, come here."
But it forces you to deal with it, right?
Yeah, and you toughen up.
Yeah.
And then you go to the workspace, and now you know how to deal with even worse people. And you're just like, you know what? This is not that bad. So even that one.
No, I like it.
Come to South. We'll teach you how to deal with things.
There's one more funny. I've got to show you this because this is the bearded. It's a bearded woman, I think, and you don't get to see those.
Bearded woman.
A bearded woman. You don't get to see these so often. I don't know. You can never really tell if it's a bearded woman or a bearded man or
Attractive?
whatever.
Oh my gosh.
No, not attractive.
Ooh.
But what I like about this is there used to be a place for people like this in a circus, because people would go to the circus to see bearded women. You don't see them that often anymore. So I was just pleased that this was on my feed the other day while I was scrolling, just because not something you see too much.
Okay.
Hi guys, I was just wondering something. Do you like my hairy armpits? And do you like my beard? Let me know in the comments.
Okay. Wow.
Oh, that's how I feel.
Taylor Swift's really let herself go.
Wait, what the hell?
Jesus.
Like, I was okay. No, I wasn't okay with it. But the minute the armpits,
Yes.
like,
So again, for people who are just listening and not seeing, this person raises their arm and they got a hairy armpit as well. I don't want to see it again, but I thought I needed to punish you this Friday morning.
I feel very punished. I did not need to see that as well. Like, you know what? And this goes back to like, if you want to grow out your body hair, that's great for you. But I did not sign up to see it on the internet. That's not something I want to see
So
personally.
you wouldn't subscribe to that person's feed?
Hell no! I'd be traumatized every morning. I'd be like, I'm sure you didn't wash today, even. Like,
All right, how about this? So there's a Disney themed home, and we've actually got some pictures of this to show you, featuring huge murals of characters from the Disney movies. It's like an adult obviously built this house, but it's the sort of adult who's clearly never grown up. Like you would expect this, like Michael Jackson vibes, you know, like paintings on the walls of Disney movies. It's in a Welsh town. Wales has got some problems, but the current owner is a Disney fan who's lived in the house her whole life, has attracted lots of interest in the property due to its unique artwork. So, I mean, you might find this pretty, who knows? The estate agent mentioned that although many people are curious to see the artwork, there have been one or two genuine buyers who are interested in the house's location and its garden and everything else. The house features Disney-themed murals. There's a garden with characters from Star Wars and E.T. and an Aladdin-themed living area, as well as a staircase decorated with Mary Poppins and Peter Pan motifs. I don't know if I could take this house seriously or the person who lives in it, but what do you think, Simpiwe?
Oh, hell no. Like, no.
That bedroom. That's terrifying. That's awful.
It's a lot going. There's
Sure.
too much going on for me.
Wow.
I can't, like, there's so much color, so many pictures, too many toys.
This is what would happen if you gave a 9-year-old girl $3 million, right? That's what would happen if you gave a 9-year-old a whole lot of money.
Like, that room is. I feel claustrophobic. Like, I feel like I'm just like,
it hurts my eyes. It hurts my eyes.
I need air to breathe. There's too much going on everywhere. Like, there's no room where I can just, like, I'm sure the kitchen is worse, but there's no room that I feel like I can just breathe and just be like.
I really don't like it. It's.
And then, like, and with everything going on, when that place gets dirty,
yeah, then it must be even worse. I mean, that's it. She took these pictures because she's proud of how clean it is. I mean, it still looks like a bit of a nightmare, but I don't know. Look, I'm all for make your house your home. You know, make it you. It's got to be individual. You got to have your things around you. If you collect stuff, put that stuff out there for people to see, for you to see, not even for other people. If you want a waterbed, get a waterbed. If you like having paintings or mirrors on the ceiling, you can do that too. But this is a little extreme. I find it a bit disturbing. And it indicates to me that this person may have a couple of problems.
No, lots lots of problems. And we just need to get to a point where certain things shouldn't be normalized, and houses that are chaotic like that should not be the norm. Like, in my humble opinion, you can't have guests around because there's a lot going on. Like, what if for me, I'm like, I don't like pink. Now I can't visit you because there's pink everywhere.
Yeah, that's a lot of pink. Especially that mural with the little house made of candy and the donuts. Imagine looking at that every day. Horrible. Oh my God. All right, so let's turn from the sublime or the ridiculous to the sublime, because we're going to be starting a brand new show called Let's Talk Man. And it's not a guy's show, but the doctors on it are guys, and they're going to be talking about all kinds of medical stuff. You may have already recognized some of them. They've already had their own show going for a while. And one of those doctors is here with us this morning, Brendon Matthews, who's not afraid to have his say and stir the pot. How are you, Brendon? Nice to see you, dude.
Good, man. Good. Really
You like
good
it?
to be here. Great. Doing well.
Good.
Thank
Happy
you so
Friday,
much.
man.
Thank you. You guys are looking all bright and
We wake up
and
early. We're
fresh.
happy on
It's
Friday.
a Friday.
So
Yeah.
you've got a background in family medicine.
That's right.
And I'm curious about how you got to know the other guys on the podcast too,
Ah.
because this is something that clearly works. There are lots of those shows in America with doctors, and people love those shows because they bring their problems, embarrassing problems, personal issues, things that most of us would not want to talk about. And they go on TV and they're like, well, doctor, I've got this growth right here.
Mm.
And then the doctor goes, let me have a look. And I mean, you've seen some weird shit as a
Yeah.
doctor, right?
It's actually weird that those things are on TV, but we've reached that point where we just show anything, talk about anything.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's actually what we picked up on, is that they do it in other countries. They talk about
Sure.
everything in other countries, but not really in South Africa, really. You know, do we? Do we speak as openly about issues? You know, we started as a men's podcast.
Yeah.
And
How did
of
it all start? Tell us.
course, funny story. But we all friends. Okay.
Okay.
We went to medical school together.
Uh-huh.
We lived in the same res together, and we spoke a lot of crap together. And
you're all funny. I mean, I've watched a couple of the episodes, and you guys really
Yeah.
are funny. I mean, Suhail, who I think he put it all together.
yeah,
Suhail's also a comedian, and
yes,
there's only one other comedian doctor I know, and that's Riyad Musa, right?
Yes.
yes,
It's not usually a combo that happens so often.
true.
But you guys
yeah.
are all funny. You take yourselves not very seriously. Some of the issues you discuss are hilarious. So
Yeah.
I think it's a nice, fresh perspective on medicine.
Yes, yes. Soil actually is not really the brains behind it. You know?
Oh.
Yeah, we just decided we used to get together for breakfasts, you know, like on the weekends, and talk about these things. And we're like, why don't we put a camera in front of us and start talking about
So
it?
don't
you
give
know?
Suhail all the credit.
Yeah, so don't give,
Okay,
don't
fine,
give
fair
Soil
enough.
all the
I agree. I agree.
But yeah, so it's exactly what you're saying. You know, we want to give South Africans, men in particular, but you know, South Africans
Yeah.
as a whole, a voice again. You know, to feel heard through us, by us. You know, speaking about all the issues that we do speak about, speaking about them in the way that we speak about them. You know, just
You know what I
relaxed.
you know what I
and-
liked about the fact that you were doing this men's health podcast, and Lindy Dooley says she's very excited about the new show. So yeah, it's going to start next week. We'll give you all the details. Follow us on the socials for more. But what I like about that is that, Sipiwe, you'll back me on this. I think guys are different to girls.
Oh,
if
hell
we
yes.
if we have a sore something, we go. I'll just wait a week.
Yeah.
Let's see if it gets
Yeah.
better. Whereas, to their credit, women know that if something is wrong, if something doesn't feel right, you must go and get it sorted earlier rather than later.
Yeah.
And guys don't sit. Like, often women will talk about, like, oh, I found a lump or whatever. Guys don't talk about that stuff. And we should encourage them, especially here in South Africa. There's almost like a pride thing. And it's stupid, because the earlier you get treatment for whatever's going on, the likelier you are to sort it out and get on with your life.
Sure.
But guys are like, well, we'll see. Maybe in 3 weeks, when I get back from my trip, when I finish this important thing at work, when, you know, my wife is at home or whatever, and she's not at work, then I'll go. It's a weird thing with guys. Do you agree with me though, Brendon? This is a
Definitely.
true reflection of men and their pride.
And you mentioned, you know, I've got a background in family medicine.
Yeah.
So I work at a primary level, and I see this almost on a daily. You know, I would like to ask Simpiwe, why is it that women are so proactive, and why is it that when you see something, you run to the doctor? From a man's point of view, You know, you'd see things presenting so late. So they'll come and you'd ask them,
festering wound.
You know, festering discharge. And
oh my God, a discharge. That's always a great word.
And you're like, so how long has this been there for? No,
a couple of years.
Yeah, about 4 or 5 weeks.
Oh, guys.
And it's just like, you know, how do you walk around with this, you know, thinking it's going to get better and, you know, go about their normal lives. And I think there's a lot behind it. It's fear. So men are very scared. Men are actually very fickle, we're very, what's the word? Vulnerable. But we don't want
anyone to know.
We don't want anyone to know.
Like, I'm sure that the guys, you can correct me if I'm wrong here. I'm sure guys, when you're doing injections and things, are way more squeamish than girls.
Worse than children.
There we go. Even kids are better than
Have
that.
you guys not seen yourselves when you are sick? The man flu.
Yeah. That's a real thing, hey?
No, what Garrett's saying is true about the injections. Like, they would come full of stab wounds. You know, they've been in a fight, but they don't want the injection to take the pain away. You know, and it doesn't make sense to us, but you were fighting, you know. So the guy was coming at you with a knife and you went to him. Yeah, I did. So now injection? I'm scared of injection, you know.
So what does being a specialist family physician involve?
So it's really nice that you're asking me this, because I think the way healthcare in South Africa is set to be going, presumably what our government wants to take us with the NHI.
Oh, God
and all
help
of
us,
that.
yeah.
I am proud to say that family physicians, of which I'm recently qualified as, are going to play a big role in that. So just to explain a little bit, if you'll allow, like the way the healthcare system is set up in South Africa is, you know, primary, then you have regional, which is like your secondary, and then your tertiary, which is your Baragwanath and Joburg Gen hospitals and so forth. And then in the primary sector, it's actually described as district. Okay, so it's district, regional, tertiary.
Okay.
And then within the district system, that is your primary, and district encompasses small clinics, bigger clinics, and district hospitals, which are small hospitals, you know. It's difficult to describe it in Gauteng because Gauteng is not rural. I mean, Soweto is even urban now. You know, you can't say it's a rural.
That's true, yeah.
Area. But, you know, if you think of all our other provinces, Mpumalanga specifically, you know, you'd have a town that has clinics, and then about 10 kilometers away, you have a district hospital where you go if the clinics can't manage you. And then from there, they'll refer you if they can't manage you.
To one of those big hospitals.
To the bigger hospitals. And then they'll refer you to Pretoria, to Steve Biko, if they can't manage. You know, it's like a referral system. And so family physicians function within the district setting, which is the small hospital, as well as the clinics.
Closest to the people, actually.
Closest to the people, actually within, you know, among the people.
Yeah.
And basically, I'm supposed to be a specialist in everything.
Well, people come to you
that's
with
what we train.
You're the first port of call.
That's right. That's right. So we provide, you know, clinical services as family physicians. We also capacity builders, trainers, teachers. We involved with governance, corporate and clinical. So there's quite a lot to do at a ground level. Yeah.
So Brendon, we were talking earlier about how hard doctors in this country work, and they do. I mean, there's been a lot of noise this week. I was speaking to Suhail yesterday about Tom London and Helen Joseph Hospital, and he put a vlog out on TikTok, which I saw watched. And there's suddenly a lot of attention with NHI on the horizon. People are asking questions, and people are taking very seriously, and we should, our own kind of medical insurance situation, where we would go if we ended up with some terrible disease, where we go for medicine, what kinds of systems we have in place. But the doctors in this country work very hard. They work long hours. And Simpiwe and I were talking about earlier how, you know, some people have hard jobs. What's the longest shift you've pulled?
I would say 36 hours.
What?
Jesus, with no sleep.
With no sleep.
Yes, how can you even function after that?
So yes, and you know that now that you mentioned Tom London, and this is you know all throughout the country and social media, There's a lot to be said, man. There's a lot to be said. And I've reached a point by analyzing both sides and obviously being a doctor, is that I understand both sides.
Yeah.
You know, I understand his grievances and all the millions of South Africans who use our public health sectors.
And most of them who have no voice. I mean, at least he's got, you know, but for better or worse, he's got an audience.
Yes.
And that's how he got this out there and made it an issue. And I think the health department are forced to take it seriously.
Definitely. No, yeah. You know, I went into primary care because I'm very aware of that our communities, our people in our communities using primary care services are voiceless. They don't have a voice. And I wanted to be an advocate for them and treat them as humanly possible. And all doctors, let me not say all, majority of doctors have that same, you know, concept or thinking or way of practicing. But the night before the Tom London video came on, I was pulling a 30-hour shift.
Yes.
And it was about 3 a.m.
How do you do that? I mean, just explain to me how that even works.
How do you prepare for that?
Yeah, if I haven't slept for a night, and you're talking about more than one night.
Yes.
You're talking about like 2 consecutive days with no sleep.
Sure.
That, I can't stay awake. I start going like, this. Put me behind the wheel of a car, I'm deadly.
They say doctors will rest, but let's say you haven't slept for 24 hours and you put your head down and someone wakes you up 30 minutes later. How does that, how do you feel? It's like it's worse. It's like you shouldn't have slept.
Yeah.
Because you wake up even feeling worse. So
But
sometimes,
why are doctors pulling such long hours? This isn't good for the patients. It's not good for the doctors.
Yes.
Is it because we have too few doctors and they're overworked?
So you could say that, but there's also a culture that's been going on for many, many years. I wouldn't say exactly, but it's sort of like when you are a doctor, this is what is expected of you. There's been articles and studies done for tens and tens of years showing that when you haven't slept for over, you know, the period over 24 hours, you're worse than a drunk person.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't exactly want you doing surgery on me when I'm
exactly.
You know, I need something simple done, and you're like half asleep.
And it's mostly adrenaline. You know, I think that pushes you. It's also the fact that you know that if I'm not present in this moment, this person might lose their life.
Yeah, the stakes are high.
They are consistently high throughout your shift that you are doing. At the point I wanted to get to is that I'm very aware of how I treat people. It's part of me as a family physician. You have to. When I train medical students or interns, out of 30 minutes of me talking to them about how to take a history, 10 minutes I spend with them of how to interact, building a rapport, you know, how to communicate. And some of them look at me funny, like, why are we wasting time on this? But now we have the evidence as to why we need to spend time on this. But that night, I remember I just put my head down and the security knocked, "Doc, patients." And I got up, you know, you sit on the edge of your bed, you say some curse words to yourself. What am I doing? You know, why did I choose this? And I was so done. And I got into the consulting room and the patient walked in and I just said, "What's wrong?" You know, and they were like, "Hello, doctor." And I just said, "Please, can I have your file?" And, you know, everything was out the window of who I am. Hello, you know. And then the morning, Tom London's video, I was like, oh my gosh, do I blame myself? You know, can that patient blame me? It's a discussion that we could probably have. You know, I'm so overworked. I'm so tired. I've got no humanity left inside of me.
Yeah, no. It's, dude, we can't expect doctors to be superhuman. And then people also throw the fact that you earn money in your faces. This I find very bizarre. It's like the same people who are expecting free or cheap medical care are then also resentful when they see a doctor driving a nice car or whatever else. I mean, it's so stupid. This is the one reward you get for yourself. And frankly, what anyone does with their money is none of your business.
Yes.
And if you're pulling 36-hour shifts,
come on,
I'm happy for you to be paid properly. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
I'd prefer that you were paid properly and you didn't have to do long shifts as well, but that's not my choice. So what kinds of funny and wacky and weird shit have you seen lately? Because this is always my favorite subject with doctors. And I know it's what you guys talk about too, is you talk about all the crazy shit you see. And you don't have to mention names because that would ruin all kinds of ethical and moral
yes,
questions
of
in your
course.
profession. But you can tell us about some of the weird stuff you've seen. Eh?
No, for sure. And this is what makes up a big part of our podcast as well.
For sure.
We sometimes start off the podcast with a weird and wonderful story that we've seen. And for some reason, they've always got to do with genitals. Or
yeah, because people, so listen to this guy. Barely Vocal Media says, I know someone who's peeing blood for a year.
A
year. And he didn't go to the doctor. He eventually found out there was a growth in his bladder from smoking.
Yes.
James, did you hear that?
Yes.
Because James smokes.
So you might not correlate the two in your mind.
Because you would
but
think lungs.
Yes.
What's it doing in your bladder?
Bladder cancer, smoking is one of the direct causes of bladder cancer.
Really?
Yeah. And that's one that's not really, thought about or maybe perhaps spoken about as well. Yeah, but the common thing is that, like I said, they've always got to do with genitals, for some reason.
Yeah.
And
very embarrassing.
Yes. And they've got to do with the bedroom. So one that I recently saw.
Go on.
It's weird because yesterday I gave a lecture on sexual health and sexual history taking at the university, and they couldn't get enough of this story. But people using what we call what word can I use? The cock ring.
Oh, okay. Cock ring. Okay.
But homemade ones,
Out of what?
Like the washers that are under the taps that are on taps and.
And then of course,
types. And then they constrict,
and they can't get it off.
That was.
And those washers are the metal ones.
The metal ones.
Yes.
The metal washers.
That's very bad.
Horrible.
The one that I saw, I wasn't sure because I do work a bit under the hood of a car as well. It's what I grew up doing. I went from operating cars.
Potato.
There's certain clamps that go on the water pipes on cars that you turn.
Yeah.
If you've seen.
Yes.
Even those type of ones.
That you with a screw, and then it kind of makes it tighter.
So people go underneath the car, take those clamps, and then they put it.
So
people are chasing orgasms here.
Yes, and I hope I'm not giving people ideas.
No. But I mean, that's very, very funny for you. But you have to be super serious in the moment, right? Because this person is now. It's taken a lot of courage for them to come to you.
Actually come.
They must be in huge pain. There are possibly much worse things going on because that blood is going to start causing big trouble.
And it might have been there for 2 days already because he didn't come initially.
I mean, there's damage to the blood vessels.
No, definitely, and to the penis. And
the penis might not work
be
again.
Amputated, But what I like.
Have you ever amputated a penis?
Not me personally. Vish, who's also on the gentleman's
Have you
clinic,
had to screw back? What?
I've had to suture a scrotum that's been, chopped by the wife or the girlfriend. So cut with the bottle. So she went directly there with the broken bottle, and his testicles and
did they fall out?
Was open. No, thank goodness.
Oh my God!
They weren't.
It's a lot of blood, right?
Yeah,
because that's the other thing about the genitals.
But what I like
Big
about
blood supply.
What
So
I like
there's a lot
about
of
the clamp, that one that you can screw, it can release pressure, improve
Slowly.
pressure. During sexual intercourse.
Are you suggesting this?
No, I'm just thinking this is
done correctly. This is what he's saying. If you do this correctly, you can have such great orgasms.
Man, I've heard horrible stories about you having to take deodorant cans out of people's assholes.
Yes.
Oh my
all
word.
kinds of terrible things.
Yeah. No, that definitely does happen.
Yes.
And now you need to be more open to it and understand that there are reasons why they do this. They enjoy this, and perhaps they don't have a space to talk about it. And the wife doesn't know because she's going to leave him if he knows he likes. So he has to do it in private, and now he uses a deodorant can.
Yes, exactly. Oh my God! Wow.
So, as a family physician, you have to think out of the box. You have to ask, okay, why did he have to do this? You ask why 5 times. Why is there a deodorant can up your backside? Okay. No, because, and then you get an answer.
And they say they
why,
slipped and they fell. And it went up by mistake, right? Because they don't want to admit what they were doing.
Exactly.
Jesus, that's unbelievable. Being open to it is how we got into this mess in the first place, says Carl. It was one time and I slipped and fell on that can. Bitcoin Boot says, my grandfather had a pain in his bum the other night. He told me he stuffed Zambuk up there and went back to sleep. What do you need a doctor for? Zambuk.
What? Like
Zambuk up your ass.
the Zambuk. Like
Yeah.
this.
There we go. That's the one. No, that's the one. Did you prescribe that?
Like what?
You must just. You guys are weird. And then, like, in cases like that with like the deodorant, are you allowed to afterwards, I'm sure, if the patient is okay, to kind of recommend alternative things to do besides putting deodorant up there?
So this is what I spoke about yesterday when I gave a lecture to the students at WITS, is that you're supposed to be there to provide, firstly, to get this before it happens, to ask. I mean, Gareth, does your doctor know if you're sexually active or not?
No, but if they ask, I have to answer, right? And
Yes.
I did go for an HIV test the other day for my usual annual health
Okay.
checkup. And even though you think you're safe, you're always like at that moment.
When the lady's about to prick you, you're like, damn it.
You start thinking, where could I have
Exactly.
potentially
You
got
go
it
over
from,
like the
you know?
last 6 to 8 months of your life. You're like, what could I have done? Because if obviously, there's some diseases you just don't want to have. You don't want to be on medicine for the rest of your life. And South Africa hasn't got a good record in this respect.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, historically, especially if you think about
People do stupid stuff.
So, has your doctor ever asked you, are you having the type of sex that you wish to have?
Wow.
No, I feel like that's a very intrusive question.
No, it shouldn't be intrusive.
So
If your
Simpiwe would
doctor-
immediately fire you as a doctor.
You wouldn't
You
come
can
back
stop
to
it.
me
Are you
again.
sexually active? Yes or no?
No,
And
but
then I'm
this
like,
is-
okay. And
What do you mean though? When
Yes,
a
this
doctor
is-
says that, what does the doctor mean?
Because if you in a monogamous relationship and I know the missionaries came and said that you have to do it this way and this is missionary. But you don't subscribe to missionary, but your partner does. Your partner's like, when we get on the bed, you do it this way only. But your mind is like, I need Zambak, I need
Deodorant.
deodorant.
I suppose that's the most diplomatic way you can ask, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's how you get these things out before.
And what kind of
they
answers
end
do you
up
get
there.
to that question?
So it depends also on how good the person knows you. But if they really know you and you've built that rapport, they'll explain to you that, doc, I know I've said, that I have a wife, but for the past few months, I've actually have another person, I have a girlfriend as well, or I have a boyfriend, because I'm scared to bring up the fact that I'd like to explore, anal sex with my partner. Or
Right.
I mentioned to her once and she brought out holy water.
Or
and,
I'm going to
you know,
Machoshas every other week.
Exactly.
You need to be
You
open about
understand.
this stuff. Do you hear, Flex and James? You need to just be open about it. No
And
one
then
gets
this-
hurt. You just say,
Yeah.
how many Machoshas this week?
Exactly.
Let's check there isn't a
Then we can
discharge.
protect you from that,
You know?
protect you from discharges that are going to be there for
Yes.
a month before you come to me.
Okay.
Hepatitis B, hepatitis A, vaccinations, and testing. What's this? Pre-exposure prophylaxis.
Right.
So giving you medication.
And I mean, Homotso says, my doctor is so cool, I can speak to him openly. You want to be that kind of doctor.
Exactly.
And you want to have patients who can trust you. Because
Yes.
then you can advise them properly. If they're hiding stuff from you,
Yeah.
you can't figure out what's going on sometimes.
You can't figure out. And I think we forget that people are sexual beings, we might see an elderly person. I'll give you one story. I saw a man who was in his 70s.
Yeah.
And I was going to put a urinary catheter in for him. And he's like, okay, you're keeping this thing in. How long is it going to be there? And I was like, no, it needs to be there for almost permanently now,
Okay.
And he's like, but mfazi ngamshaya njani? How am I, and you'd be thinking
He's busy in his 70s, yeah.
He's in his 70s. He's a sexual being.
Yeah.
And there's some, if, for example, Freud and these philosophers or psychologists will tell you that we're sexual from birth to death. I don't agree with the birth thing, but
yeah, but I mean, like there are old people are busy. If you find out
Exactly.
about some of these old age homes, there's a lot of
Yeah,
action going on there. It's disturbing, but it happens.
exactly.
Oh.
Yeah, my master's research was in the sexual field, and my supervisor, who's in her 50s, so I said, no, I'm gonna do my participants will be up to the age of 40 because I think they're having the most sex. She's like, what do you think about us? Why are you leaving
wow.
us out of this?
So you had to make it a bigger sample.
From 18 up until however old you are.
Wow.
So yeah, that was it.
I think this is going to be a fascinating show. I'm looking forward to it. I know you guys have already been doing this for a while, but now it's going to be on the Real Network. And I think it's going to be a real slam dunk. I'm looking forward to meeting all the doctors. So there are a group of you guys. Let's Talk Man. It's going to be starting right here on the Real Network soon. And Brendon's one of those doctors.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thanks for also getting us on.
Sure, man. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I think it's going to be amazing. And Sims, you're involved.
Yes, I am. And I can tell you now that the doctors might give away a free BBL.
Oh, wow. Free BBL.
But you might get it, you might not. Watch the show.
I love that. I always wanted to give away breast augmentations and butt lifts and shit. Now we finally get to do it here.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, watch the first episode
All right.
to understand what's going on.
Okay.
But yeah, that's is what I'll leave you with.
I like it. Brendon, thanks so much, man.
Thanks.
Good to see
It's
you.
lovely to be here.
Thank you. Sims, have a good weekend.
I will.
Yeah, and don't stay here longer than 1, hey?
Not doing
You
that.
and Flex told me he's getting out of here at 12. So
Yeah, and no deodorant.
no.
Not doing
Amuse
that.
yourself in traditional ways, please, at home. Let's not be doing that. Otherwise, you're going to make Brendon's weekend shitty.
Yeah, please.
All right, everybody. Thank you. That is a wrap. We will see you on Monday, 6 a.m. Bye.